So it is 8:13 a.m. It's early to be lifting.
It's a little early. I mean, these girls got here, what, 2 hours before this to weigh in?
Yeah, so that was 6 o'clock when those weigh-ins started.
What time do you weigh in tomorrow?
Eileen got 3 red lights. Oh, I'm wrong. She got 3 red lights. My bad. She got 2 blues. So blue is up and down on the bar, meaning that she probably dipped a little bit and came back up. She also got a yellow. That could be missing a command or moving the feet. Many things. Emma got 3 red lights. There we go. I weigh in tomorrow at 5 p.m. because I'm prime time. So that's the evening weigh-in.
You see, that's kind of hard too, because I mean, it depends on how your weight is moving, right? If you're pretty comfortable with what you're weighing in at, you can eat before then. But if not, then you wait until 5 o'clock to eat for your meat at 7 o'clock. You know, it can get late.
Kristen Vo, that was fast. Let's see what they say.
That was an easy opening squat.
3 whites, and that's what you want, right? You want that first squat to be super easy. It doesn't even look like you're putting a lot of effort into it.
That's right.
And Izahu Zhao?
That was a beautiful form. A really nice upright chest. I mean, that was a nice squat.
Yeah, she got 2 white lights. So one call for depth on one side. And we definitely mentioned this a lot in other live streams, but you can have one hip that's just not going as deep as the other one because we are asymmetrical beings. So sometimes one judge will see depth, other side's just not there.
That's right. We have Jen Biebert over here on platform number 2 with a nice 3-step walkout. She's wearing flat shoes.
Yeah.
Just a quick note. Some people will wear a heeled shoe, and she's wearing flats.
I like flats. I've switched many times over the years, but I'm back to flats. That was 3 red lights for her. Excellent lifts.
And I'm back to heels. It requires more mobility and flexibility if we're using flats traditionally, and so having that heel on your shoe, it makes it just a little bit easier to get down into depth for that squat.
Yes, that is very true. BB Burns. Oh, she's been told to replace the bar before she went for it. So when that happens, it can be for multiple reasons. It could be, I really don't know what. Maybe her knees were still bent and not locked out.
Yep.
That's my guess for her. I was trying to figure it out, but I couldn't see anything wrong.
Beautiful squat from Alexis over here on platform number 2. She's the first equipped lifter over here on platform number 2, squatting 117.5 kilos, making it very easy, getting 3 white lights.
Very nice. And yes, guys, we have raw and equipped athletes today. Raw, that means you're just wearing knee sleeves, a belt, and that's really, you can have wrist wraps on, but that's it. And then we have equipped where they're wearing actual single ply suits. So the squat suit they're wearing, you can kind of tell they may kind of like waddle out a bit more, and like it's super tight on them. So like it's literally compressing their entire body. It's actually hard to even get in the suit and stay in it. So they have to take it off in between attempts.
Sometimes you can definitely see some people take it all the way off during between attempts. You can also, because it is a singlet, those shoulder sleeves, I suppose, will come off, and then the individual will go back, sit down, and rest for a little while longer. Versus a raw lifter can keep their singlet on pretty much the entire time, keep their knee sleeves on, and over here on Renee, you can see she has these wraps around her knees that are extremely tight. It's a little bit extra effort to get all the way underneath that bar.
Yep. And Janet Chavez, real quick, y'all, she got 2 red lights, was like missed depth and up and down the bar. Looking at Renee Brown's squats, you can see she's taking her time getting down. So the suit is super tight. So they have to actually put a lot of effort into getting down in the squat, finding depth, and then typically they can pop out a bit easier because of that suit. But she gets 2 reds. She did not find that depth well. You can kind of tell the way she's walking out the platform. That's how tight the suit is, y'all. She is like waddling, but that's normal because it's a really tight suit. But Alicia Sherman's back for squat attempt number 2. A little bit of a struggle. Let's see.
This time.
Okay, nice. 2 white lights. She got a blue card. So we've been seeing a lot of blues. So that means up and down. So that can mean someone like fully stops and then dips down a little bit, then comes back up. And Denise Johnson's on the platform.
Just a quick thank you to our sponsors. We have SBD, we have Rogue, A7, and RP.
Mm-hmm.
I believe I might be missing one in there.
That's all I see right now. But yep, RP, definitely a big sponsor as well. SPD, they really are the biggest sponsor, I believe, for this meet. So shout out to them. Denise Johnson, let's see what she gets. She gets 2 white lights. She got a blue and a yellow. So again, guys, you know what blue means at this point, up and down the bar, but yellow can mean a lot of things. She could have missed the rack command. She could have moved her foot at some point after getting the squat command, and about 4 other things it could be.
There's lots of things that those cards can mean. That is correct. Over here on platform number 3, you can see Mr. Elvis Presley in the back. That is our very famous Gino Powerlifting. You can follow him on Instagram at Gino Powerlifting. He is a character. He is the energy behind all of our athletes when they're on the platform. Lynn Marie on platform number 2 with a red and a 2.5, equating to 80 kilos on the bar, 176.37 pounds.
Okay, so that was a tough second squat attempt for Lynn Marie. Let's see what they say. Okay,
Wow,
2
nice.
white lights. I'm not surprised to that blue card. I thought she stopped and didn't really go back down, but hey, you have that better view when you're like right next to them. So the referee, they get the call. Yu Zhao Zhao. Hope I got that right. Let's see how she did. It looks like a speedy second attempt for 3 white lights.
And this is our national meet. You'll see much more of our senior or our senior level lifters that are going to be here, our more experienced level lifters. So you can see what it looks like to have quite near perfect form or beautiful form with these movements. If you've made it to the national level, you're definitely doing something right.
Shiaka Takata got 2 white lights, 1 red for depth. And yeah, I can agree with you. You have to have a qualifying total just to come to nationals, so you definitely have more experienced lifters here. Emma got 3 whites.
Next, we have Eileen Broska over here on platform number 2 with a bar of 92.5 kilos. We're breaking into the 200-pound range here. She weighed in at... She's a 40 to 49 kilo. She weighed in. She's a 48 kilo lifter. Squatting 92.5 kilos. That is a big squat.
BB Burns coming out for squat number 3. She looks happy to be here. She's smiling. That's always nice to see someone smiling and happy.
But this is one of my favorite communities to be a part of. That's part of the reason I was talking yesterday with Natalie. It was just a wonderful experience first starting in this. Oh man.
All right, so she failed it.
Missed her attempts, but really, really quite a good effort. And also, just want to make a quick note. You can see that she's in our Masters 1 class. This sport really is for everyone of all ages, which is really, really nice to be able to have.
Sarah Hernandez, she looks like she sunk that. I don't think you can get a red for that one.
No, I don't think so.
3 white lights.
Good squad.
Yeah, I love this sport, man. Literally, there is a age group for everybody. Even seeing the youth on Tuesday, that was phenomenal. We saw 10-year-olds, 12-year-olds. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
We had youth nationals on Tuesday here.
I think what's really cool is when first started lifting and then now coming back and being a part of the community again, seeing how much it's grown has been really quite nice.
Janet Chavez and Kelly Sherwin are both on the platform. Kelly, that was like a good second attempt, but let's see what they say. Ooh, 3 reds did not hit depth. Did not get the hip joint below the knee joint at the bottom of the squats. Janet got 1 red. 2 white lights is all you need, but the center judge says she didn't hit depth. Do you have an opinion on the center referee giving depth calls?
I think you can kind of tell from the very front. It's it can be iffy. I think usually they give the benefit of the doubt to the athlete if they're a front to judge, but you can sometimes tell if the hip joint's below the knee. If it's very obvious, then I can call it, but traditionally I'll give my athletes the benefit of the doubt.
Tiffany Nijuan. Yeah, as a referee, I hardly give front calls because I'm just like, I don't know. And I can't 100% tell, but if it's super obvious, I will give a red. Ooh, but Tiffany got 2 reds from both side judges, and they have the best angle for that depth.
That's right.
Felicia Sherman. Let's see. 3 reds. Okay. So we're starting to see some misses, which is rare to see it more often for a third attempt because your first attempt squat should be, like we mentioned earlier, something easy. You can definitely hit it. Something I would say you can probably triple in the gym.
That's always a good note right there. I think tripling your opener is always the standard. I
Yes.
think it's a good safe opener, and after that, then you're in for the bench, and then you can kind of move from there.
And then second should be tough, and then third, you're really going for it, but I still say you want to put a number on the bar that you really believe you'll be able to hit. You have to adjust to the day. You can't always go with the plan that you had like a week ago. Kristen Vo gets 3 white lights. Okay, we're back to seeing some white lights. That's good. That's good.
That it is. We're about to finish our second squats over here on platform number 2 and possibly over the same on platform number 3. Actually, platform number 3 is about to be done with her third
squats. Yeah.
already. Oh my gosh.
They're moving. That was 3 white lights.
We were talking earlier about weighing in and things. What does your prep look like whenever you're trying to weigh in, or how do you feel comfortable most approaching that?
Making weight.
Yeah.
So for me right now, I'm underweight for the new weight class, but I did have to cut for like 7 years for 63 kilo. And I just did water cuts, and I stayed within 4 pounds of my weight class, and it was really easy for me because I did not have to adjust my food down at all, just a water cut. And so I learned how to rehydrate well, and it was not too tough for me.
Very nice. We have what looked like a good squat from Miss Jen over here, 2-1. She's coming away with that squat for the day.
Yes. Zoe. Let's see. She's on her 3rd attempt. Oh, that was like really smooth.
That was an easy 3rd attempt. I mean, it's nice, conservative.
Ooh,
wow, really?
yellow. Did she miss the command? I didn't see her feet moving.
I didn't see her feet moving either.
That, I will say, that's the most disappointing one to get, like a yellow card for missing a command, but you suck your squat and you got it fast. Alexis Iglesias. Okay, 2nd attempt. She is an equipped lifter. She has the knee wraps on and the suit.
Very
that
nice.
looks tight
Very
to
speedy.
me.
Yeah, do you think so?
Yeah.
Let's see. 2-1.
2 reds,
You're
yeah.
Right. You're right.
See, and I got it front for you.
Yeah. Yeah, you see? Look at that.
Emma Eve, she fought for that. Let's see that 3rd attempt. Was it good? 2-1. 2 is all you need.
2 is all you need. A lot of times we see these lifters and we can see valgus of the knee or internal rotation of that knee, which from a viewer's perspective probably doesn't look the most comfortable and technically is not what we were looking for. But whenever we're competing at the highest level on these days, we're trying to push our limits the most that we can, right? And so when we get to that platform, we're going to have some form deterioration that is normal. Ideally, we do avoid it, but when you're lifting a weight that you've never touched before, it can happen without a doubt. We have 2 equipped lifters. We have Renee Brown on platform number 2 and Cindy Goodrich on platform number 3.
So Renee needs is I think she missed her first squats.
You are correct. That suit is extremely tight. She's really being patient with all the way down and really sinking that depth.
All right.
Smooth.
That was 2 reds on the 2nd platform, and Renee gets
She sunk it. I mean,
no
way.
blue cards.
Wow.
2 red lights with a blue card. So I did not see up and down. I did
I
not.
didn't see it either.
All right, so guys, in order to stay in the meet, you have to be successful with at least 1 attempt from each lift, the squat, bench, and deadlift. So if you miss all 3 squat attempts, you're out of the meet. You can technically finish out the meet, like, essentially for fun, but nothing counts towards your actual records. Melissa Fulgencio. That was a fast, easy squat. Oh, so we're on first attempts over here. Oh, 2 white lights. We're on first attempts. I'm about to say, wait a minute, aren't we on thirds? But no, we moved on to a new flight.
You're on a new flight. I still am finishing my third flight. We're at the top of our third flight with Denise Johnson in Raw Masters 4.
Woohoo.
70 to 79 years of age.
Love it. Love it. Y'all all know someone who's in their 70s. Are they squatting? Are they benching? Are they deadlifting? I doubt it.
They gotta be.
It's very exciting. I wish my grandma was squatting. Let's see. Did Denise get white light? She did. Yay. Awesome for her.
And it's so important to making sure that we're lifting until our later years, making sure that we are able to keep our bone density nice and strong so that we're not breaking hips and bones and things. It is extremely important that we have some external stimuli. Having some resistance training in there is very, very important.
Heather Fa. Going for her first attempt squat at 122.5 kilos. And we have Shiaka Takada out for her third attempt, as both raw lifters are on the platform right now. And Heather Fa got 3 white lights.
So just to recap,
Shiaka got 2 red lights and not hit depth.
whenever we have a red light on a squat, it is failure to bend the knees and lower the body until the top surface of the legs at the hip joint are lower than the top of the knees. So that is actually going to be for depth. A blue card is going to be failure to assume an upright position with the knees locked at the commencement and at the completion of the lift. It can also be double bouncing or more than one recovery attempt at the bottom or any downward movement during the ascent. Quick notes there for our listeners.
Lynn Marie Aronicas coming out for her third attempt squat.
Ooh.
Oh, not
Good
quite
attempts,
there.
Good attempts.
Yes. But you were saying, yeah, so for blue card, I did forget for a second that it could also be like you didn't lock out the knees at the top.
Same
So
here.
that's something we should be looking closer at because we're seeing a lot of blue.
I wanted to bring it up because I couldn't remember where the cards, what do they mean. So for yellow, you are right. It can mean a lot of different things.
Yes, a list.
So just to say a couple here, we're going to stepping backward or forward or moving the feet laterally, like you mentioned earlier. Failure to observe the chief referee's signals. Contact with the bar or lifter by the spotters/loaders between the chief referee's signals in order to make the lift easier.
Kelly Sherwin taking that third attempt. Looked good. Looked good. Ooh, I'm super excited. Oh, I'm not sure what's going on this platform for Ariel Patra. So we're waiting for that. But I'm excited to introduce her because this is someone who, even though she's not in the primetime flight, numbers-wise, she should be because she is fighting for podium.
Wow.
Yes, she's a very strong lifter. I'm so excited to see her. I just had her on the podcast.
No way.
Yep, she was on the Powerlifting podcast. We had a great conversation.
What's
Very
the-
passionate lifter.
What's the name of your podcast?
The Power in Lifting.
The Power in Lifting.
Yes,
Where
sir.
Where can you find it?
Pretty much everywhere. Apple, Spotify, and wherever else podcasts are.
Beautiful. I'm going to have you on my podcast sometime soon, too.
Oh, love it. Eileen got 3 white lights. What's her podcast called?
My podcast is the Ben Nevares Podcast, and you can also find it anywhere. It's just the BEN Nevares, Nevares Podcast.
Love it. And I know you have more than just powerlifters on. You have different athletes from different sports.
You are correct. Several Olympic athletes, discus throwers. I've also have veterinarians come on. I want people of all types of different success to come on and kind of talk about how they've achieved success and what we can learn from them.
Amazing. Sarah Hernandez.
With what looks like a completed squat, we shall see.
Live stream's lagging a little bit for us, guys.
And Sarah, we're still waiting on her determination there. You guys can also tune in on Lifting Cast to see a live stream of the. And Sarah got her movement. You can see a live stream of the
attempt selection and good lifts and bad lifts.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
No worries. All right, here comes Ariel. Like I said, one lifter you're paying attention to. Beautiful opener. Looked good to me. Let's hope it looked good to the refs. There we go. Let's go.
That was so fast. Oh, my gosh.
I know. That's how you want the opener to be.
Tiffany Wynn over here on platform number 2, all the way down.
I think back up. We have a lag. Oh, she's back up. Let's see. Ooh, 2 reds.
So 2 reds did not hit depth. Depth really can be finicky, especially as the weight gets heavier. You're at the end of your, you're on your third attempt, as everything starts feeling a little heavier. You want to move a little bit less, but you got to make sure you stay hitting depth.
Yes and no. I mean, I know a lot of lifters who are the opposite. I know a lot of people who get to meet day and they always squat a bit lower. I think it's something like the nervousness. I always also squat lower on meet day, which is not good for me because I tend to overthink and get like super low. That's just like, what are we doing here? But, like it really depends on the lifter. But yeah, if you have a habit of like cutting it high and it gets heavy, that's not great for third attempts.
That is not great.
Julia Antonova got 3 reds for a yellow card. So, guys, we keep saying yellow card can mean a lot of things. She could have missed a command, which is why I have to guess. I didn't see her moving her feet around. I didn't see her get any help from her elbows. I don't know.
Wow. Kristen Vo with 115 kilos squat, weighing in at 48 kilos. We're in the 48 kilo class. It is 256 pounds, if I remember correctly. Next, we have Alexis Inglesia with 125 kilos on the bar, lifting 275 pounds. That is 2 reds and collars. She is equipped lifting in the 48 kilo weight class.
And the collars, guys, they weigh 2.5 kilos each. So I had a lifter the other day. She was so excited to go and do her attempt. And she was like, wait, it's wrong. Like, it should be a yellow. I'm like, no, it's a green with a silver and a collar. It's right. Don't worry, go.
They know what they're doing. As you can see over here on the bottom right, you have where they pretty much list out what you're going to be seeing on the bar. So this time you see the 2 reds and the little collar. And so these guys, these handlers and spotters and loaders, they know what they're doing out here.
We got Lindy Tran. Let's go. And the stoic knee sleeves. I see him.
Is that the name of the brand there?
Yes.
Gotcha.
And she gets 3 white lights.
She did walk out through the front. Do you know if if walking out through the front is allowed?
They're not supposed to. So they should be told not to, but it's not gonna cost them a lift.
Okay.
Jen Biebert's coming out for that 3rd squat attempt. She's got SBD knee sleeves. SBD is sponsoring this event along with Rogue, a 7 RP. Yeah, man, without these people, without these sponsors, this meet would not be possible.
We would not be possible. That is very correct.
We'd be at home sad, not watching powerlifting.
What a life. Jen Berbert over here attempting her final 3rd squat at 127.5 kilos, really pushing, and unfortunately not able to pull it through today.
Great save from spars and loaders. Spotting and loading is a tough job, and I say they're the most important part of meet because they can make a meet go slow or make it go efficient and smooth.
You're so right.
Janice Flores gives 2 reds. She did not hit depth. She's an equipped lifter. We keep saying it's tougher to hit depth equipped because you're fighting the suit to get down. Have you ever put a suit on? I have not.
So I competed in equipped powerlifting versus you over in raw, and so yes, definitely, and everything's so much tighter, which I like about raw or equipped is that it gives you, I think, more years in the sport. So it kind of protects your body a little bit. So these guys are definitely in very, very tight suits, but it protects the hips, it protects the knees, but it does also allow you to put more weight on the bar, because it has a little bit more of a rebound effect there at the very bottom of that movement.
Renee Brown needs this. She got 2 reds on the first 2 attempts.
I mean, she really sunk that one. I mean,
I'm really not sure.
I don't know.
I thought that for one of them too. So let's hope. Yes, and she's in the meet. Awesome. Stuff. I kind of want to combat you on that. Like, yes, you get the suit and it helps you obviously to have your joints feel good. But then you lift way more weight with the suit, so does it really help preserve your joints, or?
I believe so. In my own experience, I have had no injuries in the sport of powerlifting, which has been nice, other than maybe some tendonitis things, but there's just overuse of a movement, right? Overuse of some tendons, which is common whenever you're doing only 3 movements and you're trying to perfect them rather than doing a wide range of movements. So I would say, in my experience, yes, I've felt better preparing for a equipped meet than a raw meet, but at the same time, I see where you're coming from. And have you ever lifted in gear at all?
I've never even felt what a suit feels like.
No way. No
So
way.
I'm all the way on the other side. I'm like, are you really sure? Oh, we have an American record attempt for Leanne Lee for the women's open 44 kilo. And Melissa Figencio got 3 white lights for her lift.
It's a big lift here for Leanne. Let's see if she can do it.
And on an opener. That's a nice feeling.
That's pretty insane.
So it better fly, because if not, you had 2 other attempts put on the bar.
Big, deep diaphragmatic breath to initiate the movement. And
boom!
easy
See, good.
kick.
Okay.
Look at that.
And now I can say that was a good number to put on the bar.
That looks pretty conservative.
So we're going to see that number breaking over and over again. We're going to see a good amount of records broken throughout the week, because with all the weight classes resetting at the beginning of this year for USAPL, it was a blank slate. And so we had some big meets where we definitely have people who have broken a lot of records, but we're going to see some records get broken over and over and over again in certain sessions, especially with 44. There's not a lot of records right now.
Is 44 a new weight class?
Yes, it is. That's why I'm like, literally, first of all, you have to fit into it. And then people who are getting stronger, they're going to be at this meet. That was 3 white lights on platform 2. Gabrielle Palenko is coming out for her second attempt. And we have
another very conservative squat over here on platform 2 with Tram Vo. It's absolutely killed it. It looks like these choosing some really good first attempts over here.
That's a good feeling, right? Like, you want to see that. You don't want to see people, bomb out because the first attempt was too heavy. Unfortunately, we saw a little bit of that earlier in this week. More with equipped, which I want to ask you, is that more common because, like, maybe the suit feels different or different obstacles you have as an equipped lifter?
There's definitely more variables, right? So rather than just being in raw, where it's you and you in the bar, and you have a belt, you have some wrist wraps and some knee sleeves, but overall there's much less variance rather than wearing gear. Yeah.
Denise got 3 reds. She got blues and red for depth, so that means she didn't hit depth, and also I think it's more like she didn't lock out her knees. That's possible. So I was talking to a lifter on my podcast, and she just went from equipped to fully raw, and she was saying that on meet day, like, she's multiple times had to go out and find a new shirt or something because, like, it didn't fit her anymore for the meet. Is that normal? Because to me, I'm like, excuse me, go find something new on meet day. That's just crazy.
That's not so normal. I would not say. I mean, I've never had that experience. If anything, I would carry a couple with me, but even then, I think once, and I don't know the level of this athlete that you're talking about, but I think once you get to that level of national or world title kind of level, usually you kind of have your suit dialed in, you kind of have your body dialed in. I mean, there are some variances, especially like we're in sunny Las Vegas versus Natalie was mentioning last year, I believe, World or Nationals was in Florida, and so that the air is going to be very different, right? More humid versus less humid. Did you compete last year?
I did. Real quick, we got some good lifters out here. So Noelle got 3 white lights. We have Ariel Patra coming for second attempt, and Ava Allen. Ava Allen broke some records at collegiates recently. I'm not sure in which lifts it was, but I know she broke some records. And now she's coming out with the 115 opener. We have Ariel Patra with the 137.5 second attempt. Let's see how that looked. It looked good. Let's see. We got a little bit of lagging from the live stream.
I hope the online people can actually see it as well, even if it is.
Okay, I'm actually not sure that was a good lift.
Very easy movement
over.
from over
We're gonna
here
check lifting tests
for Ava Allen.
Ava Allen gets 2 white lights.
And
Oh no. Okay, so Area Patrick got red lights. If I had to guess, it might have been depth because I know that's been a little bit iffy in her training. So hopefully she'll come out and smoke that on the third attempt.
You really know these athletes. I think that's super cool. That's super helpful.
I'm trying, man. My whole podcast is about making sure the women's side gets more seen in powerlifting. And we got 3 Right Lights on platform, too. Melissa Shirley coming out for her opener, 117.5.
You know, we have some of these women out here lifting today, lifting more than a lot of men do. I mean,
Duh.
we have some extremely strong ladies out here today.
We love to see it. I love to see it. Hashtag strong woman.
Hashtag lift clean. Janie over here on platform number 2. She has 50 seconds to get to the bar. She's already on her way.
I see how you avoid that last name. No. Give it a shot right now.
Bay Tha Vong.
See, not that hard.
Bay Tha Vong.
Beithavong. That's what I'm going for. Lindy Tran going for her second squat attempt, 140 kilo. Something about her. I feel like her meat they makeup is really on point. So whenever she comes out, I'm like, oh man, you look really good. Oh, we got 2 Right Lights again. It's all you need, man. It's all you need. I feel like when I was in college, I was like, C's get degrees. It's the same thing.
2 to 1. That's all you need. That's all you need. That's 2 white lights, right? That's
Ooh, but Jana got 3 reds. And unfortunately, that's not what you need. So she will hopefully retake that. Because I'm a big fan. If you miss a lift, and it's for any reason besides missing a command, you should retake the lift. Even if you were like coming out here and you wanted to like podium, you should still retake that lift. You don't have time to be bombing out. Do you agree with that?
Moderately. And so, yes and no. My last time at Worlds, I went ahead and added more weight for my last attempt. Missed my first 2, added more weight for my third, and ended up actually getting my third. But I knew the reason why was I needed a little bit more weight to get down to the bottom of that squat. Like you were saying earlier, it makes it really difficult to get down there. So having that extra weight sometimes is necessary. So
Okay.
I think for raw, less so. But for geared, for sure, you can definitely add some weight for those second and third attempts if it's something that you know is not necessarily just strength or nervous system fault, but mainly a technical fault.
Janika Flores got 2 white lights. We have Cindy Goodridge coming out with the American record attempt for her third. That's a big deal. I'm excited. And Noelle Warner coming out on the other platform. Yeah, so again, that's the difference between raw and equipped. So equipped, that can make more sense. Like, you need more weight in the bar to actually get lower. But real talk, wouldn't that just be poor attempt selection then? Like, why was it not enough weight for you to get low in the first place?
So sometimes you're in the back room, you're warming up, and you'll have, let's say my 300 kilo was my opener, and 290 was my last warm up, but 290 looked really hard. I might have a coach who's maybe not so confident in my ability to hit 300. They're going to go back and change my attempt to a 290 or even less than that.
Okay.
Not knowing that I need at least 300 to get underneath the bar.
Noelle got 3 whites. Ooh, Cindy got the 3 white lights for the American record attempts.
Very nice.
Yay! Masters lifter. I'm not sure which number in Masters, but Masters lifter. Excellent. That's what you want. You want to come to Vegas and you want to do it big. You want to hit some attempts. You want to get some records if you can snag some. This is the time to do it. Janie Beithavong.
Janie's back up for her
Second attempt. So far, she's my favorite last name. We'll see. We'll get, as we keep going, we'll find some more people with fun names. And Melissa Fulgencio is coming out for her third squat. These are both raw lifters.
Is there a time in between the squat and the bench?
Yes, it should be 10 minutes. Sometimes I saw a little bit shorter, but 10 minutes should be between each squat to bench and then bench to dead. All right, we have Leanne Lee coming out for an American record attempt on her second squat. Was she the one who got on the first 2? Okay, cool. So we're going to see that every time. Got it. Okay. Still very exciting, though.
She made a pretty big jump there with a 7.5 kilo jump.
But that first was, remember? We saw it. We were like, oh, that was fast. So I'll take it.
I think 7.5 is pretty conservative still, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So she is lifting out. She is about to attempt 270 pounds, weighing in the 44 kilo weight class.
Amazing. And we have Heather Faw. 297 on the bar. This is a nice solid lift for a 52 kilo athlete.
And Leanne has 18 seconds to attempt her movement to get her start command. And looks like she's...
Heather Faw got it with 2 white lights.
Super easy squat from Leanne. I mean, still, I think another 7.5 kilo jump is probably going to be pretty appropriate here.
2 white lights? Yeah, I agree. She can put 7.5. Let's see. Let's see what she does and see if we win that bet, even though we both bet the same thing.
Coffee after, I bet you.
I can't have any more coffee, bro. I still gotta weigh in tomorrow. I only get 1 cup today.
Limited.
Gabrielle Polenko is coming out for her 3rd attempt. And Tram Vo is out for her 2nd squat attempt.
Also attempting 270 pounds here as well. And then next we have Ava Allen also attempting the same weight.
Okay, so Tram gets 2 red lights. Unfortunately, it does not count. So you can contest lifts at this meet. You can go to the table and see if you can get it overturned. That one didn't look like, to me, it should be overturned. I think she just missed that. But especially in primetime sessions, you'll see a lot of that.
How does that work? Do you know what that process is like? Like, does your coach or your handler go up and have the conversation?
Pretty much.
And then how do they review?
Long story short, the coach goes up to the table and they have to review it. It's not video reviews. Like, they basically have a conversation and decide. Like, that's really it. Wow. Ava Allen, she smoked that 2nd attempt. That's a Team Nori athlete right there. I know he's excited. But yeah, that's pretty much the process. Okay. He goes to. They're thinking about having video review become an official thing. But right now, we don't have replays going on the screen. If you notice, like, there's no squat replay. So literally, it's a conversation that they have.
Wow, that is so cool. We have an American record attempt from Melissa Shirley here on platform number 2. She has 40 seconds to get to the bar.
Ariel Patra, let's see. Can she pull this out?
Yeah, she can.
That look gets me. Did she go up in weight? I think she did.
I think she did as well.
Yeah, she definitely did. Yes, she got 2 white lights. Oh, my God. I'm so excited for her. 308 pounds. That is a good lift for her.
And a unfortunate, not good lift over here on our right side. The no lift, nice schematic there. That was really fun.
So Ariel took a risk, right? Like, you missed a second, and not off of, like, oh, you missed squat command. No, you missed it on depth, natural technicality, and she still went up. And that is something that's hard to do and execute. So I'm pretty stoked that she actually made that work.
She did. She made a 2.5 kilo jump there, and she was able to hit it pretty well.
Jewel Antonova. That was like a solid 3rd attempt.
And we have Denise Wattis
3 white lights
here on platform number 2.
Wearing a game day barbell shirt with Joe Stanek back there as her coach. Denise gets 3 white lights. Joe Stanek so Game Day Barbell is one of the newer gyms in Austin, Texas. It's the only Powerlifting gym in Austin, Texas, and they have really made it look amazing. There's like 20 platforms there now. Everything's a Lico. Like, it's an excellent gym. They keep building it out. It's going to be the best gym in Texas.
Oh my
Give
gosh.
it a couple more months. It'll be the best gym in Texas.
Are you from Austin? Or
I'm not. I got to visit them in April, and I went straight to that gym.
Nice.
I got to referee a meet, their first meet ever, and that was so much fun. It went excellent. You have Lindy Tran. I'm telling you, every time she comes out, I'm like, girl, you look so pretty with that squat. With the squat, with the face, everything. Come on, can she pull it out? Oh, man. So she shook her head no. So a lot of times you'll see the lifter, if they know they don't have it, they'll shake their head, which is actually a good indicator for these spotters to be like, okay, we'll definitely go and, like, take it now. Because sometimes if they don't do that, you have to wait for the bar to, like, drop into your elbow as a spotter. And it's nice to be like, oh, they said I can take it. Cool. Like,
I don't think I've ever had somebody drop a thing into my elbow, and like, thankfully, I mean, gosh,
Well-
that sounds absolutely terrible.
well, I mean, like, if you're spotting from the side and your elbow's there to spot it, like, then it'll kind of drop down into your elbow. Well, yeah.
It makes sense, definitely, but I've never had to deal with that, thankfully.
Did Melissa get this American record attempt? Because she missed it the second time. Or second attempt, let's see. Two white
201.
lights. She got it. Oh, awesome job from Melissa. And Janika Flores is out here. Third attempt squat. 358. 358 for a 52 kilo lifter. She's coming out here equipped. You can see the suit, the wraps, the wider stance, which is more common, right? More common for equipped lifters.
I would say it depends. You know, you have people like David Wilson, who's massively wide squat. You know, and then you have other people who I would say have a fairly narrow squat in my gear, but I mean it's fairly consistent. If whatever you're gonna do raw, I feel like you should do in gear as well. It's the most amount of practice you can get, right?
Yes.
So lift or practice how you're gonna play.
All
so
right.
Depends.
We got Ava Allen coming out for her third squat attempt. Team Nori athletes. We have BB Burns. BB Burns coming out for an American record attempt. Oh, we're switching to bench press. Oh, they're done.
She's opening up with an American bench press over there. Wow, what a cool thing.
Okay.
We're going to take a break here in just a little bit once platform number 2 finishes, and we'll be right back.
But right now we're still here. So we got Ava Allen.
Right now we're still here. But
Let's see if she can
just a little while.
smoke this. Come on, Ava. There we go. Love to see it. Oh, darn. I really thought she got depth there. Okay.
Leanne Lee attempting her third attempt squat here. Another American Open record. And this time she made a jump of a couple kilos.
The smallest jump you can take is 2.5 kilos in these meets, unless you're going for an American record. She gets to put whatever chip she wants, which is a really nice advantage. She can put half a kilo more, 1 kilo more. If you're going for a record, you can put whatever weight you want that's less than 2.5 kilos, and they'll take it. But besides that, it's just 2.5 kilo jumps, which is 5-pound jumps in pounds.
And so this time she made a 5 kilo jump, so right about 11 pounds. And attempting to break her own American record.
Again. Let's see. Big breath in. You'll see you want a big breath to get that brace.
Oh my
gosh.
gosh.
I love it.
Wow,
I love
that was
it.
faster than her second attempt. That was so
Everything's
easy.
been fast. That was like the first attempt again. Oh,
really?
Put the arm back down because that did not
Really?
count, unfortunately. They can't contest it.
The front judge called a depth call, and the side judge gave her a white.
See, this is why I always say, I'm very iffy on should the front judge be calling for depth. Like, sometimes it's really obvious, but if it's not, it's tough for me to be like, yeah, I'm going to give you depth call, even though, like, from the front, it could be just a bad angle. But,
We have Tram Vo over here on platform number 2. 30 seconds to get her squat command. More than enough time.
Yeah, so all you need in that minute time is to get the command. You don't have to complete the lift in that time. So that's plenty of time to get there. I did see some people yesterday, though. Oh, yes, she got the lift. Some people yesterday were taking their sweet time and waiting to be like 10 seconds less to actually like unrack the bar. I'm like, they just wanted to do their whole routine. I'm like, okay, you do you.
It's a little
But
risky.
like, hurry up a little bit. Because I'm like, if you get a replace command, you're screwed. You can get a replace command where your knees are not locked out. And so they're like, well, yeah, that's mostly for what it is. Your knees aren't locked out. So they'll make you replace it. And if you don't have enough time, you will not get that squat command. We have Janie Beithavong. Squats, third attempt, 127.5 kilos on the bar.
Being on that platform, being in that moment is such a good feeling. Such a exciting feeling. Here we go, Janie attempting 127.5 kilos or 281 pounds, lifting in the raw open 48 kilo weight class.
That's really a great squat for that weight class. Oh, but darn, she couldn't get it. Okay. And that is it as well for Platform 2. So we're going to get a 10-minute break on Platform 2. And Platform 1, we're already 3 minutes into the break. So in 7 minutes, we'll be back.
All right, thank you. And here we are about to get started with platform number 2 and platform number 3. We're going to be starting with the bench here today. We just finished the squat. The ladies did absolutely great. We had several American records broken set today. And so here we go. See how bench has us beginning here in just a couple seconds. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at Ben Nevadas and at
Solana Lifts.
Solana Lifts. We're here to answer some questions that you guys have. If you have any questions. But thank you again for joining us. That one sponsor that we were missing is actually going to be
Virus. Yes, they have a booth here. I can't wait to check it out. They have some awesome compression pants, shirts. And we also have SPD, the biggest sponsor, Rogue, A7, and RP. And BB Burns opened up with an American record attempt. 2 reds. Okay, she got a yellow and a blue.
So I'm going to go back to our little sheet here and figure out what exactly those mean for the bench versus the squats.
Yes, so I know for bench, same idea of up and down for a blue card. Can be, she's supposed to get off the platform now, but for a blue card can be up and down. I'm not sure, they're trying to figure something out right now, but and then yellow card could be miss the command, the feet moving after getting the command, and a few other things.
So from our handy dandy handbook here, so for bench press, a red is bar is not lower to chest or abdominal area, not reaching the chest or ab area, or is touching the belt. The blue card is any downward movement of the whole of the bar in the course of being pressed out, failure to press the bar to straight arm's length elbows locked at the completion of the lift, or a clarification, elbows not locked at the commencement of the lift is a blue card. There you go. That definitely is phrased a lot nicer.
Felicia Sherman on platform 3. She's a Masters 2 lifter. That means she's between 50 and 59 years old. We have a lot of Masters lifters here, which is awesome to see. That looked good to me. And she gets 3 white lights.
How do you feel about the bench? Is that like your favorite movement of all time?
Definitely not my favorite, but I don't hate it. You know, I definitely have the arms and body type more of a deadlifter, but so it's a long way down. But I enjoy bench press. We have like a good relationship now. I used to hate it. Now I'm like, we're cool. We're friends. We're cool. I'll never be known for bench, but that's okay. I don't need to be.
We have a good relationship. I like that. That's
yeah. Fun. We got Jen Biebert coming out for her opener. 48 kilo weight class, opening up with 52.5. I love to see people benching more than their body weight, which we'll see a lot of here at this meet, because again, this is nationals. You have to qualify to get here. You have to be lifting some heavy weights. And Janet Chavez on platform 3, opening up with 67.5 kilos.
And our yellow card is kind of a catch-all again, just like for our squat. It is having or sinking the bar after it's been motionless on the chest or abdominal area in a way that's such to aid the lifter. And then also same thing with the commands, failure to listen to any of the 3 commands of the start, the press, or the rack. And then contact with the bar or the lifters by the spotters / loaders between the chief referee signals in order to make the lift easier.
And we got Tiffany Nigerian coming out for her burst bench press. 55 kilos, and we have Yu Zhao Zhao coming out with her first bench press as well. 67.5 kilos. And if you're wondering what racks these are the TSS racks, and one of the biggest changes they made to these new racks is the bench pad. It's a little bit, I would say firmer, a little bit firmer, a little bit thicker. So it's something that I think a lot of lifters are going to appreciate at this meet, as opposed to we used to have racks that had smaller and thinner benches.
It's good to know. I did not know that.
Yeah, they actually especially made like a certain, I don't know how many, but a certain amount of racks for this meet and shipped them all over to us.
Wow.
So
TSS really has grown as well. It's kind of cool what they're able to do.
Kristen Vo. Okay, so we see Jennifer Tamayo coming out, and she's explaining to the handoff person how she wants her handoff. So that means that when she's underneath the bar, she will tell him, hey, I want you to hand out to me this far, or whatever she wants, so that she can get the handoff she wants to have a good bench press. We don't have to have a handoff. We see Kristen Vo with no handoff person, which means she'll do a self handoff. You can see her lifting the bar by herself to get it off the rack.
That's impressive. I could never.
Jen gets 3 white lights. Kristen Vo. That looked easy. So there's some pluses to a self handoff. You definitely get a faster start command because there's no one to move out the way. And also it's going to be more consistent, so you don't have to worry about getting a bad handoff, which can completely destroy a lift. But some lifters really need that assistance, especially really technical bench pressers who have like a really high arch. They tend to need it more because they can't get out of position or else it ruins the bench press. So it depends on the person.
Do you have a big arch when you're benching?
It's not huge. Kelly Sherwin, that was like a good lift. Yeah, it's not huge. Just my body type, like it's just never gonna be something massive. So I can do self handles very easily. But especially looking at smaller female lifters like we have here, these are the smallest female lifters you'll see at nationals. You will see some people come out with massive benches and have some huge bench press attempts that like people in 5 weight classes up are literally lifting. And I'll point them out to you because I know some of them are.
I'm excited to look forward to them.
Chiaki Takada.
60 kilos on the bar.
And we have BB coming back out to retry that American record attempt. And guys, she's a Masters 5. That means she's in her 80s, between 80 and 89 years old. How incredible is that?
That is amazing.
Chiaki gets suspense as we wait. Okay, I still don't know.
That's how they do it sometimes, apparently. 2-1 with a yellow card. It's something either with a foot or a early rack command, but she did get her movement 2-1.
And BB gets it 2-1. She got a yellow card. Okay, if I had to guess, I kind of think her foot moved a little bit, even though I didn't see it get up and move. So, like, if it slides, it's supposed to be okay. But if she literally picks up a heel or a toe, that's when you're not supposed to get it and get a yellow card. So, in my opinion, I think her foot slipped slightly, but not enough to get a yellow card. But, you know, 2-1's all you need, so who cares? She got it. She got the American record.
Now she's in for deadlift, and her code will qualify.
If she gets the deadlift, yes.
If she gets deadlift, that's a fair point.
Eileen Brzozowska coming out.
62.5 kilos in the bar. She's a Masters 1 lifter, so between the ages of 40-49, and lifting in the 48 kilo weight class. A fairly narrow bench here, and an easy press and rack.
Yes. And Felicia has a wider bench press. So when it comes to bench press width, the widest, a good lift for her, the widest grip you can have is having your index finger on the ring of the bar. So as long as you fully cover that ring, you are good. But you can go as narrow as you want. Narrow means longer range of motion. Narrow means more tricep involvement. So it really depends on the lifter. How far do you go?
I am the widest legal possible limit I can be.
Is that normal for all equipped people? Like, do they all go through wide?
I would say most do. Yeah, I would say that's more common. I think it utilizes more of the angled style bench shirt. So if you have an angled style or an angled sleeve versus a straight sleeve style bench shirt, the angled sleeve will benefit a little bit more from the wider grip.
Nice. And Sarah gets 2-1 white lights, and we have Janet Chavez. That was like a good second. So since we have equipped lifters at this meet, can you explain to us and me, because y'all, I have never done equipped or put a shirt on, what is angled shirt versus straight? Like, I don't even know what that even means.
Yeah, so it's the different type of stitching that goes inside where the back of the seam of the tricep. So it's one of them is angled more internally, and then the other one is a straight sleeve, more like your traditional shirt, a cotton style shirt you would see. So it just comes straight off of the end of the seam there.
So for Alexis Iglesias, she's clearly equipped. Can you just tell by looking at the shirt what it is?
I cannot. So for the most part, yes, sometimes. So she's wearing a Super Katana style shirt, which is one of the most complicated styles to lift in, and she is wearing a
what seems to be a low-cut collar. And if it is a blue collar, then it's a low cut. That's how they're designated. And if it is, then it's even more of an extreme style of shirt. So it requires a little bit more complexity of the movement. They're quite technical, and that's what I find very fond of geared lifting. It is extremely technical. One mess up, there is no muscling it. There is, you have to stay in your groove. You have to stay technically sound. Otherwise, there's a lot of danger on the line, right? So that's why these face savers are there. Stuff happens so quickly. If I lose that bar and if I miss groove and it goes either forward off of my belly or backwards towards my face, it happens just so fast. So it's very important that we have the face savers, and I like that it's a more technical style of lifting. Not to take away anything from the raw lift, of course, it is still extremely technical, but having those extra variables makes it more complicated, right? Just for the fact of sheer variables.
Jennifer Smile got 3 white lights. Thank you for that explanation, because I truly was like wondering about it.
Yeah, for sure.
Renee Brown, this is an American record attempt. Ooh, come on. Can't she finish the lift?
Yep, she got it.
Okay. I think it was good.
I think it was good as well.
She might get 1 red. I bet you 1 red. It'll be blue card.
Oh, come on.
Ha!
Ooh,
Look at that. Look at that.
nice.
Yo.
Good call. Good call.
And so for that one, it's probably for up and down. But I did not see up and down. I started pause it and then keep pressing. But I have a feeling they would still say they saw some down movement, which they could have, because I'm not in the room with them. We're outside of the venue. Well, not the venue, but outside the room. And Bibi got the 3rd lift. Yay. So she broke the American record that she just hit on the 2nd attempt. That's exciting. That, I mean, truly, to be in your 80s and breaking American records is pretty phenomenal.
And here on platform number 2, we have these little feet items that you see that were brought out, these little platforms. Can you talk to us a little bit about the platforms?
Yeah, so these platforms are carpeted. I haven't gotten a chance myself to like try out the platform yet this year, because they change them. Like they change like the carpet and the exact platform they have. So like I don't really know how like sticky it is for your feet, you know, because sometimes I've seen people slide. No one has complained yet to me about these carpets for the platform. So I'm going to say they're decent.
Very cool. Okay.
If I had to guess.
I didn't know that they changed them very often, but it's good to know. And it's crazy how important just even the style of carpet, how even that makes a difference. I mean, when you're competing at this high of a level, all these minor details, they always say it's the little things, right? I mean, and anything you do in your life, it's always the little things. And it reigns true if you want to do very well in your sport. Look at that. Oh my gosh.
So I was wrong. This BB just got the lift. They must have switched her name, and I thought she already went. But okay, she got it. And look at her celebrating with Elvis, a.k.a. Gino, our favorites announcer for these meets.
Man, announcing's a heck of a job. Do you think you could do announcing?
I could, but it's not for me. Like, I don't have the energy that I can keep up for the entire meet. Like, this man's going to be doing it for 3 sessions today. This is his whole day.
Whew.
Like, God bless him, because I just don't want to have that energy like that.
It's a lot of caffeine.
I know. Lynn Marie gets 3 white lights. Like, that's why I like podcasting and talking on the mic. I can chill and, like, just talk all day, but don't ask me to get hyped up for everyone's American record attempt, because eventually I'll be like, and that's an American record. Oh, man, Felicia could not get that off the chest. All right, so that was a 3rd bench attempt. She got three red lights, but she got her first 2.
Jen Berber on here, platform number 2. Same idea. She has 42 seconds to get the start command to start her movement. Plenty of time. Next, we have Tiffany Wynn. And then we will have Kelly on deck.
Nice setup. I love watching like the nice controlled setups that people have for bench press. That looks good to me for Jen. Let's see.
Clean. That looks probably like a 10-kilo jump from that. Yeah.
I don't know about hold on now. I don't know about all that. I will say that was a great lift, but like especially for smaller female athletes, because that's mostly who I coach. You put 5 more kilos on, and all of a sudden it's like, whoa, that's a massive lift. So I would give her another 5 at most if I had to guess. Yu Zhao Zhao did not get that, unfortunately. Great save by the spotters. We have the face savers as well. You can see them adjust them on the sides so people don't get their faces crushed if they miss the lift. But at the end of the day, you don't want to have to come to that. You want the spotters to grab it for you. So they're doing an excellent job. These spotters are from UTSA in Texas, and they spot and load like every other weekend. These people are incredible. They're so fast. They were spotting and loading at the game day meet I mentioned earlier, and they were like, it was just such a efficiently smooth meet for them. And Tiffany is getting the handoff. All right, no lift on platform 3. There we go. It was a grind, but she got it. Let's see.
Yeah,
and 3
lift.
white lights.
Clean lift. You know, you mentioned earlier you coach mainly just the smaller ladies. It's crazy how much variance there is between like who you coach and how like what your eye is kind of trained for. Because to me, I've mainly just trained mainly just men, and of the like 83 kilo maybe in up weight classes, and I can say 10 kilos is a good jump, but you're probably more you have a better eye for what these ladies would be more likely to take kind of jumps for. I mean, 5 kilo jump, that's kind of interesting. I guess we'll see where she's at.
Yeah, you will. So yeah, for a smaller woman, like you're typically gonna see for bench press between 2.5 to 5 kilo jumps. If you see 7.5, that's from what I've been seeing, that's pretty rare, but they can do it. Depends on the person. I can't tell you the last time I ever saw a 10 kilo jump from a female in the 44 to 60 kilo weight class. Wow. That's massive. Raw specifically, by the way, because we have a equipped lifters here too, and that is a whole other ballpark game. But for raw, Emma, Eve, look like that was 3 white lights.
And it definitely makes sense, you know. I mean, they have less weight, so it's a larger percentage of their total body weight, right? 5 kilos is a massive percentage relative to their weight.
Exactly, that's what it is. Like if you literally weigh 48 kilos, which is basically 100 pounds, and you're like, yeah, let me throw on there 10 kilos. That is 21. That is 20% of your body. No, let's not throw on 20 more percent to press off my chest. Like that's that's a lot. Let's throw on 5 to 10 pounds. You know, which is still a big percentage of your body weight.
That is a very, very fair point, right? Because 10 kilos is 22 pounds. That's insane.
Mm-hmm. Good lift for Emma, and we have Shiaka Takata out here for her second attempt. Masters 2, that makes she's in her 50s.
She has a fun name to say, Shiaki Takata.
Yes, you can tell if I really like their name if I say the whole name.
You've been saying it a lot. I think it's pretty great.
And Cindy Goodrich is coming out on platform 3.
Beautiful arch over here on Shikata.
Oh
man.
Okay.
That's okay. She can peep back up for the next attempt. Sometimes there's little minor changes that you can make, like having maybe a little bit better of a positioning or a setup that can change what you just saw from Shiaki Takata to making that third attempt so much smoother.
So Cindy looks like an equipped lifter, right?
Yes, she is.
So bench press for equipped. What, like, would you say, like, on the way down, it's way harder to control because the suit is making it tougher to get down?
It the suit kind of moves in a direction that it wants to, and it's your job to control it and place it where you want it, rather than just letting it kind of collapse, because the shirt is designed to sit in a specific way. Like if you see these guys walking around, you'll kind of see them with their arms kind of bowed out, looking like they're a zombie. Well, part of that is because the shirt is sitting in a specific way. So whenever we're coming down into that movement, you are controlling that bar, and it's quite a bit of effort to be able to maintain stability of that bar. Unfortunately, Sarah did not.
That was Eileen Brodowska, and she was going for an American record attempt. I knew she would get at least 1 blue card for up and down, but she also got a yellow card. Not sure what the yellow card was for, but 2 to 1, no lift. She can come back out, though. That was her second attempt, so she can try it again. She had a very close grip, too.
So we have Sarah Hernandez over here, and we see a lot of chalk on the backs of these athletes. What is the point of that?
So I'll tell you. So when it's on the shoulders, I think that's smart because it helps you stick more to the bench, right? It helps you slide less. You want to get the shoulders nice and tight. Sarah Hernandez has a very nice arch. You want to get those shoulders nice and tight and sticking. Sometimes you'll see chalk in the butt. You can even look at the bench. You'll see like chalk lower on the bench. Essentially, it's to help the lifter's butt not move. I am not a fan of it. Your butt's not going to slide off the bench. Like, why would your butt just woo and just slide off? No, right? So for me, as a referee, and I'm a referee, when someone puts chalk in their butt, I can really easily tell their butt comes off the bench, and then I can more easily give them a yellow card. So I think you should not do that, but that's the point of it.
Very interesting. I can't remember if I ever actually put chalk on my butt or not. I definitely, shoulders make sense to me, but I am not 100% sure, to be honest with you.
I mean, it's up to the lifter, but like,
ultimately up to the lifter. I mean, I feel like if you have your legs are far enough back and you have proper leg drive, you're most likely your butt shouldn't come up, right?
Yes, it depends on where your feet are. Ooh, Melissa, let's see if that was a good lift. That was a fight. Oh, that was the first attempt. Okay, that was all reds, unfortunately. Yeah, like it depends on where your feet are and the person as well. Because if they're farther out, that can help you. If it's close to your head, that can help you. But at the end of the day, like you should set yourself where your feet are so that your butt doesn't come up when you push harder. Because you should be pushing back and into the bench, not up. But also, again, if your butt comes off and you got chalk on it, I'm telling you as a referee, you put white chalk on the black surface, and now I can see your butt come right off. Black on black, harder for me to see. So,
fair point for all those lifters out there that are listening.
Renee Brown, so she's retrying this. I believe she missed it the first time. So let's see how this goes for her. And then we have Janika Flores, and that looks smooth. And it was a good lift for her.
Actually, Renee made a jump. She got 100 kilos on her first attempt, and now she's attempting 105 to set another American record.
My apologies.
Oh, it's okay. That's why we have lifting cast. Very hard to get down for her, but she's going to find that groove. And this one looks a lot better than her first attempt, like we were saying earlier. Sometimes you need a little extra weight on the bar to find that groove. And so she did an absolutely wonderful job.
There we
Gino
go.
hyping her up there. Look at that.
And you can
Big
tell
ol'
by the way she's
smile.
holding her arm. Like, that's how you know you're in a suit.
Yeah.
You see how that arm is, like, glued to her body? And she's, like, ungluing it from her body to move it? Like, yes, that's how you can tell. But, yeah, you're right. It's so different to watch. Ooh, we have blocks coming down for Denise Johnson. So you can request blocks if you're a shorter lifter and you need, like, that extra help so that you don't have to bring your foot all the way down to the floor. It can help you out with leg drive. I have seen these blocks sliding on this carpet, this meet so far.
So
Jewel Antonova.
It's nice for that athlete who maybe has shorter femurs, just short of tib fib, who's not able to get that foot all the way down to the ground.
Yeah, so what they had to do on Tuesday when I was watching the junior primetime, they had some of these spotters hold it down with their feet so that, which you can, I guess you can ask them to do. It's not like in the rule book, but like, I don't know. And that helped them out. But like, let's hope the blocks don't slide. Let's see. And their heels are off the floor already, so it's already a bad lift.
Yeah, some of those times when you're in that moment, some of these very experienced lifters can tell when their butts either come up or their heels will come up off the ground, and so to conserve energy, a lot of times they'll just kind of give up or say no or call it quits, because what's the point of putting so much effort forth if you're going to get a red light at the end of the day? Because these athletes still have to deadlift after this. They've already squatted a maximal attempt. Now they're benching maximum attempts, and then to go out and then deadlift, it's a lot of energy to expend. So some of these athletes who are the more experienced athletes will sometimes just go ahead and veto in the middle of the movement that they're not going to complete.
Yeah, Lindy Tran had a good lift, and I agree with that. Like, if you know you felt it or you know it's up and down, like these national refs are gonna catch it. So at that point, I would say, yeah, like let yourself feel it. Don't like let it slam with your body, but like slowly bring it down. The spotters will just take it from you. Call it a day. Lynn Marie has 3 white lights, so you can see the blocks they have for her were lower. They have different colors of blocks, which is really cool because they have like smaller, like maybe like an inch off the floor to like up to 2 inches. So like, the lifter can request the one they want, depending on how short their legs are, which is super helpful. And
Gabrielle over here on platform number 3, attempting 77.5 kilos or 170 pounds. She weighs in at 52 kilos. That is insane. Big old bench on that platform.
I mean, she weighs 114 pounds, and yeah, doing 170, that's pretty huge.
Beautiful arch. Look at that. Great rent and cake. Just so easy. We have Jen.
I knew she would get 1 red. So you can see Kathy Marksteiner is actually the referee that you can see from this angle. She had her arm up the whole time. She never put it down. Okay, so if your arm is still up, that means that they're saying, hey, either her butt's not on the bench yet, her heels are not on the floor yet, something is there so that like maybe her elbows aren't locked out yet. There's something wrong, so she's not ready to start the lift. even though that lift looked good to us, because one of those infractions were happening before she got the start command, she still had to get a yellow card from that referee. What can happen too is the head referee should see that the ref did not put the arm down. They can ask them to replace it, fix the problem, and then start the lift. But if the ref doesn't notice, then you're gonna get a red card. But thankfully, she still got the lift. Ariel Patra is an excellent example of someone with a massive arch, which I love seeing because, again, to see these smaller women have a big arch is just so cool to see. She's got a big bench press. I mean, she's opening at 181.
Gosh.
Yeah,
That's
she's
huge.
opening at 181. And she, 52 kilo weight class. Pretty insane.
Is the name of her team Mustache Fitness and Barbell?
Yeah, she's coached by Carly, whose brand name is Team Mustache Fitness.
I
So
like that.
pretty awesome. He was in the backstage. He's wearing a Hawaiian shirt. He commentated last night too.
I like that. Tiffany Wynn unfortunately did not get her movement. All red lights on that one there.
And Ariel got 3 reds, unfortunately. I didn't fully see what happened because there was a little bit of lag. I feel like things looked weird from the handoff. Once she got the handoff, it looked very unsettled. So I feel like maybe it could have been a bad handoff. What I see a lot when you have an arch that big, the handoff is crucial. Cause if they mess up the handoff and put you out of position, most of the time the lifter will not get it because they have such a technical bench. Kelly Shurin, for example, who's grinding out this lift nicely and looks like she probably got it. You can see how she had a longer range of motion. Her bench arch was not as big, right? Oh, 2 white lights, all you need. So for someone like that with a smaller arch, it can be easier to maybe not have the perfect handoff, but still be able to grind out the lift because it's just a less technical bench because you're not so relying on positioning. Melissa Fulgencio, 3 white lights.
65 kilos in the bar for Shiitake.
Shiaka Takata. You already know I'm going to say the whole name.
Of course. You
Let's
got
go.
it.
Can she get this lift? It's her 3rd attempt. Oh, yep. As soon as she brought it to her chest, she started pushing off so early. It was a little funky. I saw it coming. All right. It's okay.
Kristen Vo is next.
And Heather Fall on platform 3 with the 72.5 kilo attempt.
And what you're seeing at the very bottom of your screen, it says next Kristen Vo, R3. That is her rack height. So rack height number 3, and then 1 on the face savers is what I would imagine there. And
Yes.
then 67.5 kilos is what she is the next attempt, and 20. I am not sure what that is. 120 kilo plate on the bar. That's what that is.
Oh, cool. I didn't even notice that. I was like,
Yeah.
wait, what? Yep, that makes sense because literally giving you the plates
Yeah.
right there.
Wow,
Awesome.
That's pretty cool.
Cindy Goodrich, our equipped lifter. Pay attention to how the bar comes down for her. I just love to see equipped lifters bench.
So her shirt is a little bit looser than most, so you'll see her travel a little bit faster.
Oh.
And then when she presses up and then towards her face. So she gets a big explosion off the chest, which is the help of that shirt. And then at the very end, or the transition point between halfway from the full range of her motion, but half that point is now becomes very heavy on the triceps. So a lot of these athletes will train heavy on the triceps, which is why they do a lot of board work.
Nice. Kristen Vogt, can she push it out? She's pushing. Hey!
Nice movement.
Very nice. And
I didn't see any downward movement. I did see that left kind of tracking.
there we go.
Nice.
Yes, that's one thing I want to point out. So she never had any downward movement. She just locked out the right arm before the left, and that's completely fine. You can lock out the arms unevenly. You just can't bring it down and then bring it back up again because that would be a blue card. Janika Flores, 75 kilos in the bar for her. She's taking her hand off right now. And then Eileen Brzezowska with a 7.5 kilo attempt.
And then our next session will be starting at 1 o'clock our time, Las Vegas time, or 3 o'clock Central Standard Time. If you guys want to continue to tune in, we're going to have a small break after this bench and deadlift, and then our next one will start about 3 o'clock Central Standard Time.
flying to different time zones has me all sorts of confused.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Oh,
Come on,
man.
Eileen, come on. Oh, he
That's a
started to
no.
get down. She
That's a
was
no.
so close to finishing off that lift, but Eileen got the first two, so it's okay. And we have Jewel Antonova, 80 kilos on the bar for her second attempt.
So it looks like we have 3 lifters left in our third attempt bench presses, which is going to complete our bench presses here on platform number 2. We have Sarah Hernandez, who is on the bar next, and then Alexis Inglesia, and then Renee Brown, and then we're going to come to a completion. Right now on the bar is Sarah Hernandez. I know it does say Eileen on there, but Eileen just finished lifting.
And over here on platform 3, we are 3 away from finishing out second attempt. So we still got a little ways to go over here. We have Lindy Tran, 80 kilos on the bar for a second attempt.
And Sarah Hernandez went ahead and got a full 3 wide lights.
Excellent, excellent.
So then at this point, I haven't been keeping too much track of who is looking for positioning. Every kilo counts, right? Every attempt is going to count towards these athletes. There's a lot of strategy going on behind the scenes. I, as a handler, am not the best at always noticing everybody else's movements. I stay linearly focused on my athletes. Do you play the strategy game when you're just doing selections, like making these half-kilo jumps and 2.5 kilo jumps?
So it truly depends, right? Like, is it necessary? So for this particular flight, right, we have a lot of lifters who are not going to be in contention for top 5. We do have a couple, right? Ariel Patra, as I keep mentioning, she's a very strong lifter. And her coach is definitely paying attention, but at the end of the day, her biggest competitors are later in the day. So that's a disadvantage if you're a strong lifter and you're not in a prime time session. So for most of these people, they should just be focused on themselves. Because in my opinion, if you're not going for top 5, why are we, jockeying around for like 45th place? Like, just try to get your lifts in. And even if you're a handler who's like, oh, I'm not that good at that, if you're coaching at a state level or your national lifter is not going to be top 5, you don't have to be good at it. You don't.
That's a fair point.
Gabrielle Palenko. That was 3 bites.
I think I've spent more time lifting than handling. I think, let the coach kind of deal with that, and I just kind of go ahead and complete the movements.
The lifter should not worry at all about that. At all. My coach scouts for me, and when I compete, I'm not looking at nothing but myself, but he better be paying attention, and he is, trust me. All right, so Ariel needs this lift. This is her second attempt. She missed the first one. Like I said, I think it was a funky handoff, not 100% positive. She still did a 2.5 kilo jump. She's at 85 kilos right now. I saw her mention to the lift-off person again what to do, so let's see.
And Renee Brown here on platform number 2 getting set, attempting another American record attempt. So she completed 100 kilos in her first attempt, 105, and then now 110 kilos on the bar, or 242 pounds. All
right, Ariel. She's got a big... See that arch, guys? It's huge.
That's a huge arch. Very small.
Come on. Oh. All right, so that one she clearly just failed on strength, and now this puts her in a scary position because she needs the next lift to stay in the meet. I'm sure she's gonna retake that at this point. She can't go up, or she should not go up.
She should not.
Oh, and one thing to mention, so guys, if you fail an attempt, you can't go down in weight. You can only match the weight you already tried to just hit and miss, or go up. There is no going back, and that is a big thing in powerlifting. Like, you have to make your attempt selection something that where the first attempt you should hit it no matter what. That's why I said for the squats, you should be able to probably triple your first attempt because you have to get on the board for your lifts to count and stay in the meet. And you never know what can happen on meet day, where it can be a day that doesn't feel as good as when you get up and go to the gym 5 minutes away from your house.
That's a fair point. I wish my gym was 5 minutes away from my house, Lord.
Mine's not either, but it's not too far. We have Melissa Fulgencio going for 72.5 kilos, and Tramvo with her first attempt for this next flight right now.
We have Tramvo with 52.5 kilos on the bar.
Nice, and now we have Heather Fall coming out for platform 3.
Seems like you know lots of people out here. Everyone just says hi to you.
Yeah, I mean, when you hang out in the powerlifting space, it's a small circle. So
it really is quite a small circle.
It's fun. I love meeting new people. We got some people from Team Sam Strong standing next to the booth. who are going to compete soon. But, anywho.
Anywho.
Ava Allen's coming out here. First attempt bench, 60 kilos. And Heather Faw, her third attempt is 75 kilos.
Flight number 2, or flight B here on platform number 2.
Come on. No. All right, so Heather Faw missed out on strength. So, Heather, that was a 2.5 kilo jump, and that second attempt moved well. And that's what I was mentioning earlier. Like, the second attempt could go great, and then you add 5 more pounds, and it's so heavy, it barely gets off your chest. That's something you'll see more often in bench press. Because it's essentially most people's weaker lift. Like, less of your muscles are involved in benching as opposed to squatting and deadlifting.
I think bench, it's a complicated lift because learning how to have appropriate leg drive it takes years of experience to really understand how to drive your legs into the bench. It really is a full body movement.
100%. Sandy Goodrich is going for an American record attempt here, and she's our equipped lifter. And yes, you are so right. Like, leg drive is a massive part of bench press. I say, I tell my lifters all the time, your bench is more than half legs, like more than 50%. Legs. Okay, your arms are along for the ride. Yeah, they got press. They're totally involved there, but your legs are carrying you. Let's see, can Cindy lock it out? I see soft elbows. Come on. I'm not sure if she had those elbows locked out. She did. Hey, 3 right lights. Okay. Excellent. American record attempt. That was great. Next we have on platform 2, Noelle Woner. I see Sean Collins coming out. That must be her coach. Yes, it is. Sean's local to me. He's in New York. I'm in Jersey. So he's an excellent coach. I've learned a lot from him.
Very cool. You're a long ways away from home.
Yeah, I love it.
We had all green lights for Leanne Lee, who absolutely smashed it. And now we have Noelle on platform number 2. Very narrow grip on that bench.
Yes. Yeah, that's full-blown just close grip bench right there.
Yeah. That would be my close grip bench day, literally.
I can't even go that close in for close grip bench.
Really?
My arms are so long, if I went that close, my elbows would flare out so far. It just becomes a crazy lift. So, Janika unfortunately missed that on strength, and now we're moving on to Jewel Antonova. Yeah, so you'll see all types of bench widths. Something I mentioned earlier, the widest grip you can go is having your index finger on the ring. So if you look at platform 2 right now, you can see the ring because the lifter's not touching the bar yet. And so you can have your index finger on that ring. That's as far as you can go. You can go as close in as you want. There's no rules about how close you can go. Closer you go, less chest, more tricep. Farther out, more chest, a little bit less tricep. Jewel Antonova, let's see if she hits this lift.
Your lats are so engaged as well with a wider grip bench. You really have a lot of activation of those lats. So it's something we forget a lot of times. But versus a narrow grip, you have a lot of that anterior delt that's working pretty aggressively.
I love that you mentioned that. I forgot about lats. Those are a thing. Those are really important.
Just a little bit.
They're a little bit of
muscle or something like that.
Should probably train them around a while too. Lindy Tran, third attempt, 82.5 kilos.
And Melissa Shirley on platform number 2 with 67.5 kilos, and she is competing in the 48 kilo weight class. So she is opening up with quite a significant percentage over her body weight here.
Yeah. And Lindy Tran.
Denise Wattis is going to be opening up with 82.5 kilos next and she is weighing in at a 46 kilo weight class. She's almost double her body weight as an opener.
And Lindy gets that start command with enough time. Oh, she said no before the bar even really touched her chest. Sometimes you just know. You feel it on the way down. It's heavy. This is not going up. Let me just let them know now. So we don't got to sit here and wait, just let them know. and that's great because the spars and loaders can just know, okay, let me grab it. Moving on. All right. Ariel Patra needs this stand meet. She missed her first and second attempts. She's retaking her second attempt. Let's see what happens, guys.
Come on, Ariel.
Make or break moment for her. And I know that she's been looking forward to this meet for a long time. And on platform 2, Denise Suarez from Game Day Barbell with Joe Stanek standing near to the platform.
Double her body weight, guys.
Excellent.
Right about double her body weight. As an opener. I mean, insane. Look at that.
Excellent. She got a nice arch, too. I love
does.
watching big arches in good form.
It's all about technique. You know, watching good form is always super satisfying. Don't get me wrong. There's something about having a big amount of weight on the bar. Here we go with Ariel.
Let's go, Ariel. And unfortunately, she just bombed out of the meet. So she may come out and finish out her deadlift, which she's allowed to do. And I hope she does do. But unfortunately, her lifts will not count. She's no longer in contention of placing at all for this meet at Nationals.
That can be very frustrating because, you know, when they go into this, obviously you saw her first attempt on her squat. She knows what she's doing when she's selecting her weights. It's just sometimes it's one of those days where, you know, it could be hydration, it can be food, the sleep the last couple days, any of these different factors that could play into why she wasn't able to get that attempt out there.
Yes, I agree. And that's the thing when it comes to the day of. Sometimes you have to just adjust the plan. And, hey, sometimes you're in the back and the weights are moving. And you're like, yeah, let's go with the plan first attempt. And then you get out there and all of a sudden it feels a little different.
It just happens to be that way sometimes. It just happens to be that way.
Ava Allen coming out with her second attempt bench press, 62.5 kilos. And Gabrielle Palenko on platform 3. 87.5 keys on the bar. This is the biggest bench of this flight. Let's see if she can hit it.
It's kind of cool looking back and seeing some of these athletes who have they have the biggest bench in the entire day, and then you have and their squat maybe is like in the bottom half of the pack. Everyone has a little bit of their own specialty, you know.
Yes.
And it's nice to be able to see.
And she got it. Excellent job. All right, and we're moving on to our second flight, Flight B. Oh, I'm sorry. We're done over here. So platform 3, we're done over here. They're setting up for deadlift. There's going to be a 10-minute break, and then they'll be back.
Very cool. I always thought it was a 1 hour break in between.
Are you joking?
No.
What? Why? Why would it be that long? But dear God. I mean, what they're going to do, go take a nap and then...
I would.
Well, I guess equippers need a nap. I would stop competing in this federation. I'm sorry. No. Don't you dare give me an hour-long break. I'm not trying to be here all day long.
I can go eat. I can go hang out.
Yo, you're tripping. Anyways, Leanne Lee coming out for the American record bench attempt for the 44-kilo class. Like I said, so 44-kilo class, you're going to see a lot of records broken at this meet. New weight class, and to be honest, not a ton of people competing in it. So even though it's been a new weight class since January 1st for us, or I guess technically we're going back to old weight classes, so whatever. But we haven't had a ton of lifters do meets yet. You know, some people have only done like one meet with a primer for this meet, and then they came in and they're really here to show their big numbers now.
And Leanne Lee gets a nice handoff, gets her feet adjusted, and start command.
See that arch?
Yeah, that arch is huge.
Nice.
Good solid press command.
Excellent. Excellent. So easy. 3 white lights.
Next we have Janie Baythav. I can't do that one. Baythav.
Baythavong?
Baythavong.
Bro, we've done that one a lot.
I know. I forgot it. All right, Baythavong.
All right, let's see it. Second attempt, 67.5 kilos, 148 pounds.
She has a very, very slow setup here.
You got plenty of time, though, you know?
No, she has plenty of time. It's just like getting your mind right. There's a physical portion of it, but she's getting her psyche in the right spot.
Gotta be mentally prepared to hit the lift. You gotta imagine it first. You gotta get in there. Everything's gotta feel right. And 3 white lights for her, so I guess it did. And Melissa Shirley's up next.
After Melissa, we're going to have another American record attempt by Denise Juarez at 87.5 kilos. And then we're going to start our third attempts for our bench. And then we're going to take our break on platform number 2.
Yes, and again, let's shout out to these amazing sponsors. We have SBD, we have A7, we have Rogue, we have RP, and Virus.
And
Can't forget Virus.
Cannot forget Virus.
And guys, they all have booths here, so please go check them out if you are actually at Nationals, because they're awesome. And you don't have to pay shipping.
I remember I've definitely forgotten some wrist wraps before and had to go to the SBD booth and go get me some brand new wrist wraps. Sometimes it's super convenient that they're out here, but even if you're not out here competing, you can still get yourself some, and then again, not pay for shipping.
Exactly. That was a good lift for Melissa.
Here we go with Denise with 87.5 kilos. She's making a 5 kilo jump from 82.5 to 87.5 kilos, 192 pounds on the bar, weighing 48 kilos, guys. And she actually weighed in at 46.9 kilos, so she's a little bit under that 48 kilo weight class.
And let's see. Again, coached by Joe Stanek. He's got quite a few lifters at this meet, so we're going to see him a lot.
Insane. And also, keynotes, I just noticed, no wrist wraps.
Yeah, so wrist wraps. So wrist wraps, there are two kinds. There's the flexible ones, and there's the really, really stiff ones, right? And I don't know about you. I have to do flexible because my wrist has to be slightly bent back when I'm benching. I don't have like a straight wrist. So I can't handle a stiff wrist wrap. But some people will have a stiff wrist wrap. And then you can go no wrist wrap. Really, the wrist wrap is just to help you have more stability in that wrist, that you can produce more force into the barbell because your wrist is so stiff. How do you feel about them? Do you use stiff? Do you use flexible?
I use the stiffest that I possibly can because ideally, whenever we're having, I just finished my master's in exercise science, and so
amazing.
But one of my biomechanics class, what we talked about is having a direct line or a linear line from elbow to wrist, and so having, or at least having a neutral wrist, which allows the most amount of force production to go from the shoulder into the elbow and then transfer over into the wrist. So the straighter the wrist, the more efficient your force production is. So ideally, you can have a slight bend in the wrist, and that's not too terrible, especially if you're looking for proper positioning and looking for a linear bar path. But whenever we're pressing out, we ideally have that straight wrist, which is good when general population is lifting on the platform. So whenever we have, or not on the platform, but lifting in general, whenever we have someone who's more general pop, we want to make sure that they know we don't want bent wrists, right? Because they're not doing this to compete. As a personal trainer, one of my key points whenever I'm working with athletes or with clients is definitely making sure that our wrists are staying neutral, because I work with a lot of doctors, lawyers, and these guys are always, they're either in surgery or riding a lot, and so making sure that those wrists can stay nice and healthy for a long term is going to be the most important thing. So in this sport, you can have a little bend if you're looking for a biomechanical advantage, but otherwise, best force production is going to be having a straight wrist.
So, but when it comes to this sport, right? Like obviously powerlifting, we're trying to get as much weight as possible, and you want that more of a linear path. Some people are going to need to have their wrist slightly bent back in order to bring the bar straight down to their chest and not have the bar kind of get dumped slightly forward or back because of the actual line, the linear path, right?
Correct.
So doesn't it more just depend on how much internal rotation you have in the shoulders? Because if you have more, don't you need more flexible wrists? And if you have less, I feel like your wrist will be straighter. You can still keep that nice linear line.
I think it depends on your arch as well, right? And so people who have a bigger arch will most likely need more bend. And if you have any arch at all, really, you're going to cause the bar path is going to be, it's going to look linear, but because you're arching, the bar path is actually done in an arch. So if you're doing kind of like a lateral pull down with cables, it kind of takes the same bar path where it's ever so slightly, though linear, it moves towards the eyes. So like with this athlete, you can see immediately on platform number 2, it kind of came straight towards the eyes initially and then finishes coming straight up. So during one of my biomechanics classes, we talked about we did a force production output on
on bench, and we had novice lifters and experienced lifters, expert athletes lifting, and we tested the angle of the bar, the way the bar moved, and the expert athlete had a little bit of an arch going backwards towards the eyes versus the novice athlete who had a much more linear bar path. And my belief is that if we're pushing the bar back and towards the eyes, then we have a lot more activation of our lats, because that's what our lats are in charge of, right? So and we make use of that leg drive that's going down into the ground and then pushing our body away, kind of forcing that bar to travel in the right direction. But yeah, you are correct. You're going to need a lot of internal rotation. It's going to depend on your body ultimately, right? Everybody has different biomechanics, but those are some kind of general things. Or not so general, I suppose.
Hey, Dana got 3 white lights. Yeah, but that's not quite general, but thank you for breaking it down.
Yeah.
I love that you got your master's in exercise science. That's really cool.
Yeah. Spent a lot of time in the lab, did a lot of research, and mainly did biomechanics stuff. I trained under Dr. Stone, Dr. Meg and Mike Stone, who are formerly the head exercise physiologist for the Olympic national team. So we definitely have a solid level of education in that field, and some great teachers. We got a lot of really awesome people teaching us some great things.
Melissa Shirley, 3rd attempt, 72.5 kilos. We're getting to our last 3 lifters of this flight before we go to deadlifts. Excellent.
Very
3rd
nice.
attempt. Oh, look at her coach. She's so excited.
Having that support on your backside makes such a big difference, you know.
And Leanne Lee. This is an American record attempt.
We have 2 more lifters, and we will be done with our 3rd attempt benches. So we have Leanne Lee and then Denise, both of which, so Denise she's going for another record attempt. She's at 91.5 kilos. She's going to break that record, which is going to be 91 kilos. She's breaking it by half of a kilo, so she's going to be breaking it by 1 pound. Here we're going to have Leanne Lee, who made a significant jump of 5 kilos here, so 2 5-kilo jumps, attempting 72.5 kilos. Let's see how it goes. And it is an American record attempt. How fun. Exciting times. Exciting times.
Let's see it. Let's see it.
So she is attempting to bench 159 pounds and weighs 97 pounds, guys. Good engagement of those lats, big deep breath of the diaphragm, pressing up and towards the eyes. Beautiful attempt.
Excellent.
And I would say that was clean. All white
Well,
lights.
yes.
Perfect.
3 whites. All right, this is our last bencher.
Denise Johnson was with 91.5 kilos. So we see 91.5. She's going to be breaking that record again. The record is most likely going to be 91 kilos, and she's breaking it by half of a kilo. Whenever we get into the higher numbers, like you said earlier, we are able to make those half-kilo jumps, and you can break records. So there's a 1/4 kilo plate on each end. If you're looking at your screen at the very bottom right side, you see that little purple indicator. That is only made for record attempts.
Yep.
So you cannot add that guy for any other movement or any other attempt.
It's always fun when the chips come out. And let's see her get this. So, you know, this is double her body weight. Pretty much double her body weight.
This is double her body weight.
Amazing. Oh, okay. Alrighty.
That's all right. She came away with 2 other national records from her other attempts.
That's
So,
phenomenal.
very good day for her overall.
All right, so 10-minute break, and then we'll be back for deadlifts. All right, and we are back for the deadlift on platform 3. We have Felicia Sherman about to grace the platform. So, one cliche in powerlifting, but I love to say it, the meet doesn't start until the bar hits the floor. This is when it gets really exciting. And let's see, she's Raw Masters 2. That means she's 50 to 59 years old. And that is a good attempt. Like I keep mentioning, you want that first attempt to move smooth. You want it to be something you could probably triple in the gym. Just get in there, knock it out, make sure you're on the board. Once you get that first attempt deadlift in, every attempt you've done that day will count towards your total. You cannot bomb out at that point, and that's a big deal. Janet Chavez is next. She's got 25 seconds left. I don't know if she doesn't know that she's up next, but if you don't get started with the lift before the clock runs out, oh, here she is. Then you have to take a no lift if that were to happen. But thankfully she's here. 5 seconds. She started that lift. Good. It looks smooth. Look fast. And 3 white lights.
And Jennifer Tamayo is up next on platform number 3. We still have about 4.5 minutes over here for platform 2. Denise Johnson is going to be the one starting us off for the day. If you remember, she was also our last person to bench. She's going to be our first person to deadlift.
And let's see it from Jennifer Tamayo.
An easy lift.
Excellent lift.
We have 2 different styles of deadlifts, just like we have lots of different opportunities or different forms for bench and squat. What type of deadlift are there, and can you talk to us about deadlift, if you don't mind?
Yeah, so we got sumo deadlift and we have conventional deadlift. So what you just saw, or let's see what this lifter does. I'll break it down for you. Okay, this is a sumo deadlift. You can see that she has a wide stance. Her toes are pointed out. Her arms are going to be inside of her legs, not outside of them. And that's sumo. You get a shorter range of motion. And for some people, it's just a lift that biomechanically advantages them more, or they just feel more comfortable in that position. And then you have the conventional deadlift. That is a much closer stance. So you have your feet closer together, probably about shoulder width apart, but it can definitely be wider or more narrow. It just depends on the person. Your arms will be outside of your legs, and it's typically a longer range of motion. But it does definitely engage your lower back a little bit more. Your glutes are definitely more engaged. Hamstrings even more engaged. And the sumo deadlift, which you're about to see from Yu Zhao Zhao on platform 3, you're going to get more quad activation, more upper back activation, less glute, less hamstring. And again, for some lifters, that's just a stronger position for them. And for others, conventional is best for them. It's more about what feels good to you. Okay, look, maybe a little challenging, but you know, one thing for sumo as well, it typically takes a bit to break it off the floor. But then once you've broken off the floor, the lift tends to go smoother. Conventional, I see it to be the opposite, where you can typically break off the floor easier, but locking it out takes a bit more time.
100% agree with that statement. There's also different types of grips. What kind of grip do you use, and what kind of grips are there?
Yeah, so I do just over-under grips. That's nice and simple. I'll have one hand. Typically, your dominant hand is over, and then the less dominant hand is under. That's called mixed grip. Then there's hook grip, where both of your hands are over. And typically you wrap your index finger and middle finger around that thumb to give you the leverage and the hold. And with the hook grip, you can actually get even less range of motion because you can kind of let the bar hang lower in your hand as well. So that can literally shorten your range of motion by like maybe half an inch, which every like inch matters, right? Like less range of motion can be better. Ooh, American record attempt by BB Burns. Oh, she's already hitting it. That's mixed grip right there. That is what mixed grip will look like. One hand over, one hand under. That was a good lift for her.
We keep on mentioning range of motion because overall work, the formula for work is force times distance. And so if we can shorten that distance, we are literally doing less work, which means that we are more efficient of an athlete. And our ultimate goal is being out here, or as we are out here, is to be the most efficient that we possibly can while attempting our movements.
And platform 2 is about to get started with the deadlifts. We have Felicia Sherman coming out for her second deadlift. Ooh, we flew right through those first attempts.
Already? Wow.
Yeah.
That was very quick.
I mean, it should be fast though, right? Because everyone should hit it and just move on. It should be nice and quick.
I feel like deadlift takes the shortest amount of time of any movement because the bar sits on the ground. There's no changing of any rack heights. It is just changing of the weights.
100%. Which is nice because like when you're a spotter loader, I don't know if you've ever spotted and loaded on meat, but like you get obviously more tired as meat goes on. So like each lift is like less work to actually spot and load. Because squat is the most, because you have to literally save people's lives. And then bench press is easier because the short range of motion, you're standing, like you're grabbing the bar from a low place. And then deadlift, you just kind of stand there and put the weights on. So that was a good lift.
And you only need one spotter for the deadlift. So these other two guys are in charge of loading and unloading the weight versus you have one spotter here in the back who, do they spot it?
So for USAPL, you have to request the back spotter. If you don't request it, they will not do it.
Very cool. Good to know. So you can kind of see that here on platform number 3 where Janet does not have a back spotter. You have the gentleman over here on the side who is manning the...
Ooh.
Really?
So red lights means she didn't fully lock out the shoulders or fully lock out the knees at the top. And I kind of saw that soften. I kind of saw both. I think more knees, but like it didn't look like a fully locked out lift.
And we are starting on platform number 2 with Lynn Marie.
Mm-hmm. Jennifer Tamayo. Second attempt deadlift. 314 pounds on the bar.
And to go over the cards here for deadlift, we have a red light or a red card means failure to lock out the knees or not locked out the knees straight at the completion of the lift, or failure to stand erect with the shoulders back, just like you mentioned. And then we also have a blue card, so any downward movement of the bar before it reaches the final position. If the bar settles as the shoulders come back, this should not be reason to disqualify the lift. It's also for supporting the bar on the thighs during the performance of the lift. If the bar edges up the thighs but it is not supported, this is not a reason for disqualification. And then yellow seems to be
all the above.
All the above. It's kind of a catch-all again, and it's not following the chief referee's signal, any touching, allowing the bar to return to the platform without maintaining control with the hands, which is eligible for disqualification entirely, if I remember correctly. If you drop that bar without controlling it, you're out. You're done.
Yes. So literally, it can be like your hand was still kind of on the bar but starts slipping, and they can essentially give you like that yellow card because like you didn't like let go, but like, the hand was slipping because that's not underneath control. But also you can like just straight up let go of it, which is not controlled as well.
So I think if I remember correctly, if you just straight up let go of it, you're entirely DQ'd from the meet.
No.
Okay.
Happens all the time. Like people drop it like. Probably last night's prime time I saw it happen 10 times. It's just you stand up and like you lose grip. Like if you're doing hook grip and like your bar slips, we can't disqualify you.
So difference between losing grip and letting it fall versus like dropping the bar intentionally.
You mean intentionally slamming it and throwing
correct.
it?
Yes.
You just don't get the lift. No one's getting disqualified.
Okay.
And if you do, I've just never seen it happen in my 7 years of being a powerlifter in this competition and this federation. So if that's the case, I haven't seen it.
Very cool.
And BB Burns is coming out for an American record attempt for this third attempt deadlift. We are already at the top of the flight for third attempts on platform 3.
And platform number 2, we have Alexis Iglesias attempting her first attempt deadlift at 117.5 kilos, weighing in at 48 kilos. She is lifting equipped, so she is wearing a Titan Velocity IPF approved shirt.
Yes, USA PL approved shirts. Yes.
USA PL.
And Alexis, that is 3 white lights. So we don't have any equipped for this first flight on platform 3 that I'm seeing, but can you explain like the deadlift suit, please? That I literally don't even understand it.
So the deadlift suit versus the squat suit. The deadlift suit's tension is built around the hips and is designed, the stitching is facing upwards, so whenever we lock out the movement or whenever we travel up, that is the support, versus the squat is designed on the way down. So there's more stitching on the lateral aspect of your quad. So the outside of your quads, you're going to have a lot more stitching, versus with the deadlift suit, you're going to have more stitching on the inside of that femur or that quad.
Okay. And we had to highlight BB Burns, our Masters 5 lifter in her 80s, just got American record for the deadlift. So that was excellent.
Sarah Hernandez over here on platform number 2.
And Janet Chavez on platform 3. And let's see. 2 red lights, unfortunately. So she had an issue with locking it out the second time as well. So she didn't get a full lockout. That was the red card that she got. She also got a yellow card. Not quite sure what for. But at the end of the day, unfortunately, that's no lift. She did get her opener, so she's still in the meets, and that's great. Kelly Sherwin on platform 2, going for her first attempt at 122.5. Ooh, she might get a blue card because there was some up and down. So with the sumo deadlift, you have, blue card. With sumo deadlift, I say it's a more challenging lift than conventional. Here's why. Because you don't have to just worry about front to back being balanced, but there's lateral balance as well, like side to side, which is a way bigger variable in sumo because you have that wider stance. When you're conventional, you just worry about front to back. Like, you're not going to fall over side to side. You don't have a wide base. There's no, like, I've never in my life seen someone fall to the side when they were doing a conventional deadlift. So it is technique-wise a tougher lift, in my opinion. Strength-wise, you have to be strong to do both. But at the end of the day, like, when you see someone load up that sumo deadlift, you're definitely going to be, as a coach, more worried because of more variables. When you have a conventional and they're like, load it up, I'm like, yo, my confidence is higher every time for conventional.
I think you're spot on. It's definitely a much more technical movement, which I gets a bad rap a lot of the times, which I think is super unfortunate because it is such a complex movement. The stability that's needed at the very end range of motion, you need more mobility and flexibility to even get down there and get into position. And it requires so much patience at the bottom of that deadlift, just like you were saying earlier. It's much more difficult at the very bottom versus at the top in comparison to a conventional deadlift. So being patient at the very bottom is super, super important.
Yes. Unfortunately, Jen Samao did not get that last lift, but she got her first 2. And Jen Bieber, for her first attempt, that flew up and 3 white lights.
There we go. No reason otherwise.
Emma Eve on platform 3. Come on, can she lock it out? It looked good to me. Let's see it. 3 white lights. We love to see white lights for third attempt deadlifts. Renee Brown on platform 2. She's equipped. Coming up for 147.5 for the opener. So, sumo deadlift equipped. Is it hard to even get in the start position?
It's insanely difficult to get into the start position. It's uncomfortably difficult. So then a lot of athletes you'll see whenever they are wearing their deadlift suits, you also see backwards squat suits, which I think she is currently doing right now, which she is, so she's wearing a Centurion, and it is a squat suit, and she's turned it backwards so that the stitching is just ever so slightly more lateral, or more interior, or more medial. And yes, but it is definitely quite difficult to get down into the correct positions. You'll see a lot of kyphosis, or you'll see rounding of that upper back. If that suit is too tight, there is a cost benefit that where the cost will outweigh the benefit. Once that suit is too tight, then it is no longer ideal.
And Yu Zhao Zhao just locked out that third deadlift, got 2 white lights. It was a fight, and she did a great job. And that's cool to know about deadlift suits. So again, it's great that you can talk about it because a lot of people, like the suits don't, if you don't powerlift, they don't look that different when they're walking out. So like people are like probably looking at the live stream like, wait, what? Like someone's equipped and what's the difference here?
What does it even mean, right?
Yeah.
So I don't see, is it common for raw lifters to use knee sleeves when deadlifting?
So you're allowed to. I wouldn't say it's common. And like I have one athlete under me who uses them because she has like, she's actually dealing from like a knee injury, like literally has a slightly torn meniscus. It's not bad enough that she can't lift, but for some reason it keeps her knee really, really warm. So like she feels more mobile. She's also a master lifter, so that works for her. I wouldn't say it's common, but you see it sometimes.
Okay.
Does it help? Not much for the most part. Ooh, Cindy Goodrich, she's an equipped lifter. Let's see. Ooh, 3 white lights. And also, I can say, like, especially if you're doing sumo, but even for conventional, like, that's more friction against the bar. So, like, you know how people put the white stuff in people's legs is baby powder. So that can help the bar slide up your body, which you want, because you don't want, like, the friction of, like, clothing to get in the way, or your skin, to get in the way of the lift. So, like, the knee sleeve is friction. So that can be a minus.
It's a really good point. I didn't really think about that, to be honest with you. But, I mean, it definitely makes sense. And also a good note about the baby powder. And you see these athletes come out here, and like sometimes people are like, oh, my God, they really use a lot of chalk, these powerlifters, which we do. But for the legs in this movement, we want slide, right? So we want that baby powder.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people who've been in sport for a long time all have a story of someone's in the back putting on chalk all over the legs and like a regular local meet, and they're like, oh no, we gotta tell them, it's not what we're doing there. That's not what we're doing. You don't want chalk. It's more friction. That's why I put on our hands for deadlifts so you don't drop the bar. Julia got a good lift.
Eileen Braska over here on platform number 2. 40 seconds to deadlift, plenty of time. Lifting 120 kilos or 264.5 pounds.
And we have Janika Flores. So we are now on first attempts for flight B over here.
A heck of attempt for Eileen over here on platform 2. We're going to see she may have used her thighs to help kind of bring that bar up. She does get a blue light from the side judge. But overall, 2-1, all she needs.
All right, so we have Ariel Patra for platform 3. I'm really excited to see her finish out this meet. I can tell she's emotional because she bombed out with the bench press. It's very unfortunate, but I'm happy to see her finish out the meet. You know, you fly all the way to Vegas. She's from, I believe, North Carolina. So you fly out far. You put a lot of money into this. You put a lot of time, energy, preparing for the meet. Like, finish it out. It's good sportsmanship. I love to see it.
Same here.
And Kelly Sherman for her second attempt.
That is an interesting singlet. I don't think I've ever seen a singlet like that.
3 white lights. Wait, whose?
Not Ingles and not Alexis, but right before Alexis was Kelly Sherwin.
See, I wasn't paying the close enough attention. I didn't see the brand.
I couldn't tell you the brand. It just was an interesting.
We'll look at it later when she comes back out. And Gabrielle Palenko will be coming out for attempt 1 on platform 3.
And a good moment real quick. We have 2 different styles of belts that are on the platforms right now, platform 2 versus platform 3. Can you tell us a little bit about those different styles of lever versus prong?
Alexis has a lever belt, which you can see her flick it right off. So it's, in my opinion, it's easier to use because you just put it on and like you flick it and it's on and it's off. It's just convenient. And then we have the lever belt, which is a little bit hard to get on. Most people have to actually use a rack to assist them to like get it tight enough to actually put in the lever prongs. But it's just preference. One's not really better than the other. I go lever because I just like easier. But some people find the prong belt to be easier. So
I really like that lever belt. Makes life so much easier. Just flick on, flick off, done with the movement.
You can see Heather forwards, hers backwards. Yes.
Thank you to SBD. SBD has a wonderful lever belt. I mean, it is beautifully made, nice, strong leather, conforms to your body after you've used it for long enough. Just really, really quality product.
SPD's lever belts. So what's convenient about it? You don't have to unscrew the actual metal to like move the lever around because the way that it's created. So that's really convenient. It's like let's say you like lose 5 pounds, gain 5 pounds. You didn't have to typically screw out the lever, move it over, screw it back in. Not with SPD's belt. Nope. It's super convenient. You can move it at any point in time. So excellent belts and excellent sponsor. Lindy Tran. Sumo deadlift. Let's see it.
Easy movement there for her.
Yes, you can see all these lifters coming out. They're wearing long socks, so the socks have to go up to the knee because you don't want blood in the bar. That's really the reason why. If it's on your bare skin and this knurling is sharp, y'all. So if it's scraping up your legs, you might start bleeding. No one wants to get that on them. So that's why you have to wear long socks in a deadlift.
For my first meet ever with USAPL, I didn't wear long socks. I mean, I didn't even wear a shirt while I was squatting. I was brand spanking new. I know. It was a wild time because in Texas high school powerlifting, you don't need to wear a shirt. And so I was coming from that background, and then now over here where it's much more technical.
Did you get away with it?
I did. I was, that's part of the reason that I fell in love with the community of powerlifters. The referees were coming up to me and talking to me like, hey, we actually need to go get you this and this. And like, they helped me through. They didn't just like throw me to the wolves, but they kind of guided me along. And at the time, actually, the reason it was my first meet was a Longhorn. Preston Turner, when I reached out to him, how do I do this thing? I didn't know powerlifting existed outside of high school. And so went ahead and reached out to him, and he connected me with USAPL. And a couple of years, I think 2 years later, I made the world team. So it was, or 1 year later, I made the world team. It was just a wonderful experience from somebody who was really there to help. And a lot of people here in this community are that person. Jen Berbert with a completed lift of 142.5 kilos, 314 pounds. She weighs in again at 48 kilos, guys. Triple her body weight.
Excellent. And Cindy Goodrich with the equipped lift on platform 3. I like the socks too. And 3 white lights.
Renee Brown attempting 157.5 kilos or 347 pounds here on the bar.
So I've been told with equipped lifting, squat suit does a lot, bench suit does a lot, deadlift suit does not do a ton. Is that right?
You are correct. And even then, I mean, some people will put a squat suit on and lose a little bit. I've seen a deadlift suit. I remember Ashton Roscoe, when he first started lifting, he was half between equipped and raw, and he would put a deadlift suit on and lose some kilos and be able to deadlift even more raw than he would equipped. And so it just, depends on the person as well. But yes,
Okay.
You are correct. I was kind of an anomaly. I was able to get quite a couple 100 pounds out of all of my gear. Every single movement, I'd probably get anywhere from 100 to 250 pounds off of each movement or off of each equipment.
Wow, that's excellent. Janika Flores will be gracing us with her presence on the platform 3 in a moment. And Denise Johnson on platform 2 with a 75 kilo attempt for her third deadlift. She is in her 70s, y'all. Masters 4. Love to see it. Just love that we have all ages in the USAPL.
Aline did not take her last movement, so she ended up just skipping out on her third attempt deadlift. Sometimes what you'll see is athletes will just add the smallest amount possible on there. So she could have gone from 120 to 122 and a half and given her fellow lifters an extra minute of rest wherever she would have been placed, but instead she decided to just go ahead and put a 0 in there this time around. Maybe an injury, maybe just done with the meets, whatever it may have been. But Denise did get an accomplished 75 kilos on the deadlift, and next we have Lynn Marie with 115 kilos on the bar.
And we have Ariel Patra on platform 3, 155 kilos on the bar.
Slow at the lockout, but I think that was a completed lift there for her.
Yeah, Ariel's lift 3 white lights, and for Lynn, she gets 2 reds. Ooh, okay.
Failure to follow the command, maybe on the side judge, and then a red on the middle judge. So something wasn't locked out, it seems.
All right, Gabrielle Palenko on platform 3.
Tiffany Nguyen on platform number 2 with 122.5 kilos, 270 pounds on the bar. I like the hair flip. I like watching all these girls come out and do the hair flip. I think Heather was the one that like really made it big, but I love seeing the hair flip.
Ah, yes. Gabrielle Palenko, that is a good lift. And Tiffany, ooh, let's see. I think she got it. I think she got it. We'll just keep waiting. It's okay. We'll wait.
And sometimes
3 white lights.
Yeah, there you go. The system that they use. Do you remember what? Do you remember the system that they use for the lights?
No, I have no idea.
I think it's called DRL, if I remember correctly. And Scott Dobbins is the one who is the guy who runs that, who's also the state chair for Texas USAPL.
Heather Fall on platform 3 with 162.5 kilos. Raw lifter. And that lift looks smooth for a second attempt. Nice work for her, Alexis Iglesias. Was it her singlet? Was it her singlet? Come on, let's see if can she lock it out? Oh, no, didn't fully lock it out. All right. No lift for Alexis. So you can see they're cleaning off the bar in between attempts. That's just to make sure like there's not really baby powder getting all over the bar, and everyone has a fair chance of having like the best grip they can get on the barbell. You have Lindy Tran with Deadlift 2. Second attempt.
And
looks good.
Does not take. She times out, it seems. Alexis timed out. Just like I was saying earlier, sometimes these athletes will go ahead and time out intentionally to give the next lifter a little extra rest. So next, we're going to be having Miss Sherwin attempt her movements. Kelly Sherwin is going to be on the bar with 132.5 kilos.
It's virus.
That's a virus. Nice. So on
The singlet.
Yeah. So Kelly Sherwin's singlet is a virus.
Just as Melissa's is. Melissa Fulgencio on platform 3. Ooh, Kelly Sherwin, this is an American record attempt. Didn't even notice. Let's go.
And
It looks good. Let's see. 3 right lights, Masters 2 American record. Excellent job for her. Wearing the virus singlet, which is a sponsor of this USAPL national meets.
Mega Nationals.
Mega Nationals.
Mega Nationals. What does Mega Nationals means? It's just mega. It's extra big, I suppose.
I mean, Mega, because we have Raw and Equipped. It used to be Raw Nationals. Now it's Mega Nationals can be joined together.
Okay. That makes sense.
It sounds funner than like Raw and Equipped Nationals. Like, okay, let's just
Mega
you know, we do, and you gotta do it big in Vegas, so like it just really makes sense, right? Like everything goes together. Shiaka Takada, American record attempt on platform 2, 133 kilos. She's chipping it by a half kilo. And Cindy Goodrich, American record attempt on platform 3, 125 kilos. Can she lock it out?
Looked like a clean movement.
Let's see, platform. Oh, so both platforms we have red lights. She got blue lights, so I guess they saw possibly some up and down. I don't really think she like ramped it.
I didn't really see very much support of the thighs.
Yes.
And so they must have saw some up and down from the side judge. I mean, also the head judge called it as well. So they just probably have a better eye than we do using a screen versus being in person.
Yes. And platform 2, Sarah Hernandez for her third attempt, 137.5 kilos. Oh, I see some up and down. Okay. Janika Flores, platform 3. Can we lock it out? All right, guys. So let's hope we start seeing some more white lights. But these third deadlifts, I mean, it's the last attempt of your meet. You've had a long day. And so you just go for it. But hopefully we can see some more people nailing those third attempts so you can get that total to be a little bit higher.
We only have 4 lifters left here on platform number 2 to complete all of our deadlifts. And we are coming close here with Jen Berbert at 322.5 kilos. If she gets this attempt, she is currently tied with Kristen Vo for first place.
Come on, can she lock it out, Sarah? Yes, that looked good. And Jules on platform 3 also looks good. Let's see. White lights on platform 2. 2 reds on platform 3, unfortunately. Blue card, possibly supporting of the thighs. Again, from my angle, I really just cannot tell. I didn't see up and down, so we shall see. But moving on, we have Ariel Patra coming out for her 3rd attempt deadlift on platform 3, and Kristen Bell on platform 2.
And Jen did get her movement. She made a 2.5 kilo jump, which puts her at a total of 322.5 kilos, which puts her currently in first place if Kristen does not get this movement.
For the 48 kilo weight class?
For the 48 kilo weight class, you are correct.
Nice. And Ariel Patra platform 3. Let's see if she can lock out this last deadlift.
This is huge for Kristen here. If she gets this, she's going to be bumped into first place by a huge 5 kilos, securing that first place for her. Here we go, Kristen.
No lift on platform 3. Let's see if Kristen can pull it out. Let's go.
She's got that.
Come on, lock it out. Ooh, looks good. I think she got it. Oh, I see Andrew in the back coaching her. He's also from Game Day Barbell. And we wait, and we wait, and we got it. Oh, beautiful. Love to see it.
Putting her in first place and unfortunately knocking Jen into second, but she did an absolutely wonderful job with her jump, securing herself a second place.
All right, Gabrielle Palenka on platform 3. Ooh, Renee Brown coming out for that American record attempt on platform 3. Platform 2.
She's our last lifter for the day with 163 kilos, attempting a new American record.
And Gabrielle's lift looks good to me. Excellent job. Let's go, Renee.
Very nice. I think that's going to be a completed lift.
Did she lock it out?
We're going to see about those hips. Yeah.
Yep, right. You saw
it. Yeah, hips were a little soft. We'll see.
What the side judges say. 3 white lights. Okay. They didn't see what we saw.
Very nice. That completes all of our deadlifts for platform number 3, which completes our day for platform number 3 until our next session. 2. Platform number 2. Not platform number 3. Platform. Just kidding.
And Caleb, platform 2, we have Noel. Oh, you forgot about the whole other flight.
I forgot the other.
Yeah, that's a whole other flight we got. And platform 3, deadlift 3 for Lindy Tran. We are almost done on platform 3, so he's got confused with the platforms. Let's see, can she lock it out? Oh, that looked good. That was a nice fight. 3 white lights. Excellent job from Lindy. And that puts her currently in first place for the 52 kilo weight class. Now, guys, we have a whole second session and then a primetime session today, so we're going to see a lot of flip-flops of first, second, and third place. But since these are the first pools to compete, Lindy Tran's right now in first place for 52 kilo weight class. Very exciting.
Janie on platform number 2 for flight number 2. And an easy first attempt for her at 130 kilos. Walking off, strutting. She knows she's got it. Doing well. Next on the bar, we have. She's still waiting for her lights. Let's see if it was.
Those lights are taking some time, delaying the meet a little bit. Heather Fall on platform 3. Can she lock it out? 170 kilos. Sumo stance deadlift.
Very interesting here. There she goes. Yep, there she goes.
Oh, I think it's good.
So the way the system works for the lights is the refs need to dictate whether it's going to be a white light or a red, and if it is a red, then they need to also dictate the reason why. And so the head judge has more opportunity to control when that is released, and so there's an entire formula behind the scenes, an entire algorithm that Scott Dobbins did make. He's a smart dude that he was able to, and created a very convenient program for us to use.
This is our last lifter on platform 3 for this whole first session of the 44 to 60 kilo woman, Melissa Fulgencio, to finish us off with 175 kilos in the bar. This can move her to 5th place from 6th place if she gets this lift. Locked out knees early, but she locked out the hips too. Let's see. Oh, I didn't see up and down really. I thought she got it. Like, even though she locked out the knees first, I didn't see it really dip down after.
Unfortunately, that happens all too common. You'll see where those knees will lock out and the bar doesn't move down, the body does, and so it's unfortunate, but they do call that.
Okay. Well, that's it for platform 3. Platform 2, we're still on first attempt deadlifts. For the second flight, Melissa Shirley is about to go on the platform.
Melissa with 140 kilos on the bar, 48 kilo weight class, getting set up, and that's most Nancy talks about. She has the flat, kind of sock-like shoe. It has a, oh my gosh, that was so fast.
That was fast. Yeah, she ran deadlift slippers. They're pretty popular in powerlifting. So nice and flat, close to the floor, so you can fill out the floor. And Ava Allen's coming on next. 147.5 kilos. She's a Nori athlete.
That's 325 pounds on the bar.
For someone who weighs about 100 pounds.
Yeah.
Pretty strong.
Tripling her body weight on the deadlift. And making it look effortless.
Excellent work with the American deadlift socks. I love it.
Yeah, I love that. I was going to mention
Oh, with the patriotism. And Leanne Lee, we have an American record attempt. Once again, I think, are they all American records for her?
It seems that way, yes. It seems that way.
For the 44 kilo class.
And we need to have, is it 2 or 3 national referees on the platform if we're attempting?
3, every single one. National referee.
There you go. So we need all 3 of those referees on the platform to be nationally certified referees.
But like I said, so Leanne is the only 44 kilo lifter in this session. And again, new weight class, not a lot of people in the weight class. So we're going to see a lot of records be broken for the 44 kilo by her, obviously, which is excellent.
Nonetheless, 44 kilos, lifting 155 kilos, insane. I mean, 341 pounds, and she doesn't even weigh 100
And she weighs
pounds.
96. Like, that's the most she can weigh. So that's crazy. 3 white lights there.
It's a strong lady. Next on the bar, we have Noelle Wajner. And she is going to be attempting on 132.5 kilos, wearing a virus singlet.
Nice and fast opener. As we said a few times, you want the opener to move very quick. Something that you could potentially triple in the gym. So you have no issues locking in all of your attempts and you don't have the fear of bombing out.
Denise is next with her second attempt of 140 kilos. She has had a wonderful day so far today.
Yes, she has. Coached again by Joe Stanek, who's hanging out in the back.
I mean, she's only missed 2 out of all of her movements so far today. She's very, very close for that 9-9. Nice, solid attempt for her.
We did have Kristen Vo, who went 9 for 9. 6 for 6 so far today. So she's in a really good. I'm going crazy, y'all. 9 for 9 because she was in the first flight. So that looks to be the only 9 for 9 lifter we had for platform 2.
Nice, good for her.
Which is hard to do. It's hard to come out and execute every single lift.
Extremely, because usually that second or third attempt is kind of like a not necessarily. It's a guess. It's an educated guess, right? We used our training program to kind of shoot for a specific number for the day, but at the same time, you get to that third attempt and you're feeling good. You might add an extra 5-7 kilos that you weren't necessarily expecting to add onto that bar, but you're feeling it that day. It's nationals. It's the day to show up. So some of these athletes, sometimes you overshoot, sometimes you undershoot, but getting 9 for 9 or going 9 for 9 is not an easy task.
At the end of the day, the key for that is attempt selection, right? Like, you just said, oh, you might feel really good and have 5 more kilos. First of all, I wish I had a day where I was like, yo, I didn't expect to put 700 kilos, but let's just put it on. No, I'm going by how my body feels, but also my coach has to be realistic with me because I'm going to be emotionally attached to my numbers. So I have to have the right coach, and we can make the right calls together. Melissa gets 3 white lights. If I had no coach and did it my way, I'd be just red. Just, oh, I want this number today. Nope. Solana, no.
For years, I did it alone, and I think that was probably one of the most important things that in my career, is being able to have that opportunity to do it alone. And then, but when I first got to Worlds, it was the weirdest thing when you had other people like carrying your stuff for you and like really being really good handlers.
Tranville going for a second attempt at 145 kilos. That moved
Fast
great.
lockout.
Very nice. 3 white lights.
2 more lifters, and that'll complete our second attempt, the deadlifts, and we'll be left with our third attempts here. Ava Allen attempting 157.5 kilos, and then Leanne Lee with 160 kilos.
From Team Nori. Let's see, Ava.
So fast.
Okay, I think that was good. 3 white lights. Nice. And Leanne Lee with, of course, the American record attempt.
She's wearing an A7 singlet, which is another one of our sponsors.
Yes. Sponsors today. The reason we're able to be here, we got SBD, we got A7, Rogue, RP, and Virus.
And thank you to Westgate for allowing us to host here today. That's a very nice spot.
Yes. To allow us to host for the whole week, basically.
Yes, really.
This meet started on Tuesday, and we're going all the way through Sunday.
Such a large meet.
Leanne Lee, let's see if we can hit it. Oh, no. All right, so she missed it. She has the opportunity to come out and try for it again. Nobel Womner is up next, being handled by Sean Collins.
She is going to be completing her third attempt here. She is 3 for 3 for her deadlifts for the day. So she made a 5 kilo jump here from 127 to 132.5, and then finally 137.5, which you see on the bar now, and making it look good. Ever so slow, or ever so slightly there.
All right, she can come back out and get that.
That was her third attempt.
That was third attempt. She cannot come back out and get that. Nope.
Unfortunately not.
All right. Janie Beethoven is up next. 142.5 kilos. This is a 2.5 kilo jump for her. Let's see if she can go 3 for 3 on these deadlifts.
These last several athletes are all very close, within 10 kilos of each other, some of them tied. What an exciting time. Let's go, Janie.
Let's go, Janie. Oh, all right. She fell off the floor. Sometimes you're like in that position and you start pushing and you're like, today is not the day, unfortunately.
Sometimes your lumbar spine will just kind of tilt a little bit, or you start feeling some caving, whatever it may be. You're like, no, this is not going to move today.
Denise Torres to finish out the day. Let's go. 145 kilos on the bar.
And Melissa made a quick change in the back. She initially made a 2.5 kilo jump from 145 to 147, and quickly made a change to 145 kilos on the bar.
3 white lights for Denise. And so, yep, you just said Melissa upped the weight a little bit. So for third attempt deadlifts, that's the only lift where you can put in a number, but you can go in and change that attempt again as long as they haven't called the bar as loaded for your lift. Which is fun because especially you'll see later tonight, especially if you watch Prime Time tonight, which is at 6 p.m. PST for the 44 to 60 kilo weight class, you're going to see that people will be changing their last attempt deadlift to try to move up in placement. So if someone, they hit a lift and you now need 5 more kilos to beat them and get first place, you can go in and change that attempt to try to get first, second, or whatever placement you're going for.
And here we go with Melissa making another change, it seems.
It says attempt change in progress.
Yeah, so she initially changed to 150, and I don't know if you're allowed 2 changes. Maybe I caught it a little early, but she is now changing to 152.5 kilos.
Yeah.
And for some positioning here, so
it seems that Tram is going to go first. So what happens here is so it says here, if successful, will stay in 4th place. So sometimes these athletes will start playing this game with each other where now that she's bumped the weight, she being Melissa, then the next individual is forced to go a little early, right? So now Tram was supposed to go after Melissa, and now she's having to go right before her, giving her a little bit less rest time.
And not just that, but if Tram misses the lift, then Melissa can still change it and go lower again. So that is the advantage that she's giving herself by changing that attempt. It's fun to see the coaches play games.
It is. It can get intense.
And Tram pulls it out. She was like, I don't care what you do. I'm pulling this weight today. 3 white lights. And so now Melissa, knowing what Tram just did, 150, she's probably going to stay at 152.5, which could put her in 2nd place. Wow. If she hits the lift. Right now she's projected 3rd place for the 48 kilo class.
Yeah, so it says if successful, we'll move from the 3rd to 2nd place, and here she goes. Super pumped. So is her coach, you can see.
Yes. Let's go, Melissa. It's always great when your game day coach knows what they're doing. And I know he does. Let's go. Come on. Can't you lock it out? It's starting to slip. Oh, it's starting to slip. It slips.
Oh, gosh.
All right, unfortunate. So that knocked her back down to 3rd place. And right now she's staying there with Leanne Lee up next from the 44 kilo weight class, but pulling heavier than some of the 48 kilo lifters with 160 kilos. She missed it on her 2nd attempt. Let's see if she can come back and hit it on 3rd. She missed it. Like, she locked it out, right? And then she, like, kind of dropped it.
Correct.
Or, like, did she stumble her foot?
She got close, and she lost her grip on her right side.
Okay. So she can hang on. And let's see what her grip is. I don't remember. Is it hook grip? Is it mixed grip?
I don't remember.
Let's see.
We're about to find out.
American record attempt. She's going for it.
And here she
Let's
goes.
see.
Big deep
I want to
breath.
just look at her grip. So she's
It is
doing
a
over
switch.
under grip.
Mhm.
Nice mixed grip deadlift. Let's see. So some people go to hook grip if they have an issue with grip, but that doesn't necessarily mean you'll get it with hook grip. Oh, darn. She was
gosh, it
very
looked
close
like
to
he was
locking
gonna
that
do it.
out. It even looked like on that one, like maybe some forward to backwards balance issue because it looks strong. All right. So that puts Leanne Lee still in 1st place for the 44 kilo class because she was our only 44 kilo lifter for today. And we're ending it with Ava Allen, 160 kilos on the bar. She is currently in 2nd place. Yeah. Wait, who?
Ava initially made a massive jump from 147 to 157, and now she made a 2.5 kilo jump up to 160. Let's see if she can do it. Oh, yeah.
Couldn't lock it out. All right.
Even if she did lock it out, I think there was some downward movement on that bar that unfortunately wouldn't have allowed her to complete that movement. But we want to thank y'all for joining us today for our 1st session. We'll have another session here again at 3 o'clock Central Standard Time or 1 o'clock PSC.
Yes.
And,
and 4 o'clock EST if you want to keep going.
Yeah, there you go, right? All the ESTs and T's. So my name is Ben Nevadis. You can follow me on Ben Nevadis or at Ben Nevadis on Instagram or the Ben Nevadis podcast. And
Solana Lewis. I have the Power and Lifting podcast where I highlight a lot of these high-level female lifters that you'll see later today. And you can follow me on Solana_lifts at Instagram or on Instagram.
thank you all very much and have a great rest of the time.
We out.